Shalom, 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 braka, and Islamism. We got my family here, and we're probably going to have other family members in the comments, both on El Guard page on Facebook. You can catch us at HSE-TV Entertainment on YouTube. They've been trying to prolong these things, but it's not going to be prolonged. I'm talking about justice for a 14-year-old child with the initials of J.M., Fairhaven, Connecticut, where we was in October the 31st, minding our business, doing whatever they were doing, sister and brother, okay? And this 14-year-old child gets jumped and beat by the KKK clan, which is in cahoots with the police system. And y'all heard me already before, but I have to let my, not a guest, this is a homebody, speak, because we want to make sure that none of you tie the word racism to this. For my culture, we say we the chosen. This is what we were told that we're going to go through. They're going to throw us in jail, beat us up. Even some of us might get killed, which we are seeing. This ain't nothing new. It's just new when it comes to your family and your right here in your grasp. But you see this stuff on TV, people dying, the George Floyds, the one with the police choked the man halfway. These are all Hebrews. These are all Islamic, Hebrew, Indian type chosen tribal nations that was really spoken of. And then before there was writings and books, this was in the air. This was passed by the breath. You had to be of the family to even know these stories. And so now that they've been concocted in religion, it's been concocted in political powers, it's been concocted in what we call Pharisees and scribes today, called translators and religious leaders. They have made this into where we are blindly not seeing what is really going on when it's in front of our faces. So I'm going on mute, and Brother El Garb, Yah, is about to take the floor. And we're going to be going back and forth. I have to show you some things we left off on the Amendment 13, which helps nobody. It was never written for us. Just like food stamps and housing was never for us. It was just you got to be grafted in because you was in the poor category. But it was always for the opposite polarity of the lower kind. Well, back to you, Gar.
Peace and love, cousin. Thank you. Peace and love to the people, anybody watching now or later. But we're not going to play with this thing. And so, like, I'm limited in what I could do simply because people don't want to heed the messages. So when cousins say things like, we already been through it, we already know, we do. However, we don't want to aspire to it. Example, we all say blacks and African Americans don't have any land. If you don't have land, you're not a nation. We admit to that too in group talking. Blacks and African Americans aren't a nation. So if you're not a nation and you don't have land, you can't protect yourself. And so our children are in that trap of not being able to protect themselves. Why? We the adults didn't protect them. We too busy arguing with each other about religion. We're not making things plain for all of our safety. And then, I know somebody like me, you know what I'm saying? From childhood to now, I'm the big mouth. I'm the one, like, I press the issue, you know, all of that good stuff, right? So that's a problem for some people because everybody just want to be calm and sit back. Was they calm and sitting back on my nephew?
No.
Nope. How we look being calm and sitting back just in regular? Are they calm when you trying for you to pay a bill? Are they calm when they kicking you in the street? Are they calm when they take? No. And you're not calm at that time either. So what we don't realize is, as much as we are peaceful people, we are at war. We are very much at war. But we don't know how to, if you think war is just, I froze for a second. Let me fix this. If you think war is just what we see like World War I, World War II, if you think that's war, then you have diminished what war is. This Center for Nonviolence, these are the people who want to lead my cousin now in her fight. These people will admit to you that nonviolence is violence. So if nonviolence is violence, that's war. But we've been, I don't want to say dumbed down, but that's exactly what happened. We don't face things for the truth and what it is. So then who suffers? Our children. Mm-hmm. Why was my nephew even out there trick-or-treating? And especially without any adults. Why was he out there trick-or-treating, participating in their events, in their holiday? That's not ours. Ours is called the solstice. We keep ours with nature. We keep ours with the thanking the Creator for the gifts and bounties that have been given to us without us even doing anything. Because corn grows. It might be wild corn if we're not domesticating it, but corn grows on its own. Chickens grow on their own. Fish grow on it. All this stuff grow natural. But we allow people to put it in an economic system where you're constantly paying for it because you're at war. But we're not getting this. We refuse to read. We refuse to read and unite with each other based on the things that we need to unite on. We rather argue and fight what other people are arguing and fighting about. See, especially like my nephew getting jumped out there, that's like bottom line shit. That's all the proof right there that I've been speaking of as far as us being at war. And, you might not like the subject or not, but since it's a fact, it has to be a fact. A car runs off oil. If you don't put oil in the car's going to run funky, right? And I don't want to say gas because that's the main thing, but a car runs with oil. If you need oil in the car, if you don't oil up your car, you're going to have problems with the brake lines, all this, that, and a whole bunch of stuff can go wrong. That's the same thing. If we don't apply law, the oil, to our life, we're going to keep having these problems. So, correct. We're not going to put this on a racist thing, although it easily could be. Once we put it on a racist thing, I'm acknowledging what supremacy built back in 1619. And I'm not giving them that power over me. I'm not giving them the power over me or you based on their titles of racism. But on a national level, they messed up. Now, is my nephew's mother, will she allow me the room to come in there and do what I got to do? Or is she going to stick with the NAACP and these attorneys? And again, we know the NAACP isn't on our side. We say it. We know these attorneys aren't on our side. We say it every day. But when something like this goes down, these are the first people we want to run to. They not on your side. What is you running to them for? Whatever benefit they give you is to shut you up. It's to make you not fight anymore. It's to diminish what it is that you're doing. How do they diminish it? They diminish it by getting you to submit to Black, African American, and other things that benefit their system over us and telling us what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, who we going to do it with. You got to send your children to school, public school. No, you don't. Y'all don't know the law? The law says you don't. So many people mad at Donald Trump. Donald Trump said, I'm going to turn the schools back over to the state. The federal government don't like that. Why? Because when you turn the school system, the education system back over to the states, that means that certain things that we were told we had to do, we ain't got to do no more in these school systems. These teachers don't have to teach certain subjects the way the feds want them to be taught. And this is why they're mad at Donald Trump. You and I admit we're being conditioned, or let me put it this way. The school to prison pipeline. The school to prison pipeline. So when we send our children to school, we're putting them in that pipeline. The school to prison pipeline. Does that make sense? Does that sound like intelligent people? Does that sound like adults? Does that sound like responsible people taking care of their children? Not to me. And yes, my children went to the public school, and for what our parents brought us up in, I say the stuff we learn now, we can't fault our parents for what they didn't know, what wasn't shown to them. So when I was raising my children, I'm not going to let you fault me for those things I didn't know. And I'm not trying to fault you for the things you don't know. However, I can show you what you don't know, what our parents didn't know. Not just me. There's a whole bunch of others out here who can show you what we didn't know. And the easiest thing we can tell you, start reading the law for what the law is and what it says. Everything inside the law, what's written in the laws. They ain't all, especially when you talk about the past, it can't be all lies, because that's how I found out certain things were true. I heard a group say, the Moors say, Ray, this, that, the other thing, Ray. Really? I went and read the books right behind them. And yes, it's true. But I had to go read the books. I had to read the law. And when I read the law, everything in the law that we think, oh, the law's a lie. No, that's not true. Actions that come out of the law might be a lie. Certain addendums might be a part of the lie. But the law itself, they're not lying. The truth is in there. There's treaties and everything else of the law you and I have no comprehension with. When I was a child, nobody told me to read a treaty to find out who I was, what I need to do, and how. Nobody told me that. When I got older, I did. So I read the treaties, and I found out that we have one. And then lo and behold, Obama and Clinton both stood there and admitted to the treaty. Now, how don't I act within my treaty? Because when I act within my treaty, what happened to my nephew, it's going to be, if you're looking for a payoff, the payoff has to be better than a black person, an African American. You're messing with another nation of people. And that's our protection, but we don't want it. And this is the sadness to me of who we are, what we say we want. Everybody's joining up with all these different groups. Oh, we got to get our people for it. Never worked. What's the definition of insanity? Looking for a result from doing the same thing that didn't work before. Flat bottom line, that's the definition of insanity. So, since, especially to point it out, civil rights, wanting to vote, or it's never worked for us, right? Even in the end, Martin Luther King said out from his mouth, I led my people into a burning house. What's the burning house? Civil rights and the right to vote. I yield the floor.
Now, let's get into some of this truth by documentation so it don't look like we making up spook mythology stories. I'm going to read some documents. Feel free to come in anytime, Elgar. You know, the amendment says 13. It says that supposedly enslavement, not slavery. No, we all know another man is not supposed to slave another man, but by the power of a force, so a spiritual force, or you say a bright idea or a thought or an invention. It says the 13th Amendment prohibits enslavery and involuntary servitude in all places subject to U.S. jurisdiction, which is not U.S. jurisdiction. There were people here before that, except when imposed as punishment for a crime. Why is that important? Because it seems like a certain type of nation out here is like, you spit, you in trouble. You get a crime because that's how they enslave you, as what he was talking about, incarceration and the prisons. He kind of talked about real quick and then let it go. A crime for which a person has been duly convicted, proposed by, remember, this is not Congress. This is conjurers. That's the word, conjurers. and ratified by the states and wake by the Civil War. The 13th Amendment was the first of the 3 reconstructions of the amendment. You think that you that important that they were going to reconstruct their ways? Well, we more spellbound than I think. Together, this amendment, remember, amendment is an amen. So we're talking about putting amens upon nation, a certain type of people, aim to safeguard the rights of a newly, look, if you free, why you call emancipated enslaved? It doesn't make sense. You need to read and comprehend what you are reading. Okay? Ain't reconstruct nothing. The first 10 amendments, the 10 amendments, them the real amendments of the Bill of Rights. The rest of this stuff from 11 all the way to 27 really don't matter. That's why when you go in the court system, you be like, oh, for sure, we're going to win. And then another outcome comes because of this, because you reading something that was never written for you. And then they laugh at you when you come in here with these allegations until you speak like what we speaking. Like, hold on, man. What kind of boo-boo is this? Like, you ain't never done nothing. Now you become a problem. Now there's a written a state of bill that says, you know, that's why we try not to make this a black and white thing, because black and white ain't even a color. So why are you talking about racism of black and white? It's not even a color. It's like, by definition, like, don't be stupid like that. So it's kind of hard for us when we in the law system and we are right all the way. We can't talk like they talk. I'm saying, like, you see regular prisoners go up to the judge and tell him straight up, you can't even talk to me, you an entity, and shut the court down. What's wrong with us that can read and write out here? I seen prisoners do this and get off on the case. I don't care if he did it or not. He just straight up told the judge, yo, you an entity, you beneath my feet. I'm laughing like this is about to go nowhere, and end up teaching me something. Like, hold up, this nigga knows something I don't know. Because the judge sure didn't do the opposite of what I thought he was going to do. But me and you out here supposed to be free. Supposed to be free. That's how y'all tell me. Out here, you free, you got liberty. Well, why is the prison people know more than you? And you'll say, well, that's all they got is time. Well, either way, why are they smarter than you? That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he goes in front of the court, he knows his stuff, or she knows her stuff. I've seen a guy on TikTok get caught with no license and straight up win and say, bring your supervisor. He gonna teach you something today to the police officer. And like, well, he gonna teach me too, because I want to see what's gonna happen. So when the captain got out there, he says, am I carrying cargo? Do I have anything that's millions of dollars of a business? And the captain said no. He said, well, then what do I need a license and an insurance for? I was like, what? And he pulled out the actual, you know, their notes, like what I'm doing to you right now, and showed them that if I'm not of no job or business or no warehouse, I don't need none of that. You wasting my time right now. And drove off on them niggas. I'm saying, I was like, what? I was like, oh man, taught me something. They tell you gotta have license, you gotta have insurance, but you ain't carrying no business. So why are you messing with me? Okay. Now, if you speeding, that ain't nothing to get away from. But I'm just saying, getting pulled over for nothing, then they ask you for the credentials and you don't have them. If you can prove it's your car, you didn't steal it, you don't need to be showing no license. So it taught me something about there's people out here that know things that we don't know. We need to start listening and start applying these things to our life. So they can never pull him over. If they do it again, it's harassment. I was like, well, I got to get these credentials so I'm not under the same imprisonment. You know what I'm saying? So I got stuff I got to do. I things I got to do. But by your credentials, what did I just read to you in the amendment? That's all I'm telling you these things. It told you you can never enslave nobody unless they become a criminal and you can prove that they are in a crime. So child support, it's only on one nation that they really push that upon. license, registration, all this other stuff. There's only one nation they really push that upon because they know you don't know. They know you don't want to read. They know you don't want to be smart to edify your life. But they wasn't banking on some of us being like, you know what? I'm sick of this. Let's just try it this way. So I'm showing you, if you haven't been reading, I will want you to been reading while I was running my mouth while I got this stuff on the screen, talking about FBI becoming white supremacy. But then you'll run to me and tell me racism. Duh. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear how we can change this, like how we point out in their laws, calling out their statutes through each state. Because where I am, my nephew is not. Okay, I reside in Florida. He's in Connecticut. Now, that's where I'm from. But you got to know the statutes and the laws and how they do things so you don't look out here crazy because it works for you in your state, but you didn't read the statutes and stuff of how it go down and where you actually bring in the fight. So I'm going to yield the floor there because I'm pretty sure El Guard ready to come in. And as he's talking, I will be showing y'all things. And definitely if he hits some points, I'm going to start showing them on the screen. He's unable to see them because y'all know my StreamYard. It's all right. But we find ways. He's on the phone right now, just on a regular cell phone. So he don't get to see comments. He don't get to, unless he see it on his page on Facebook while we are live. He's also running devices so that we can get this story out. We're not playing games. We have to say the right stuff. We don't want to look idiotic. We don't want to look ignorant. We coming like we not playing, but we not the sellout Al Sharptons. We are not the sellouts of what he was telling you, trying to make this a black and white thing as the gay community. They put those two together, that racism and that together as if they're the same. What? No. Okay. They got theirs and we got ours. No, we're not the same. So we don't have that agenda. We focus on the one person. You know, I've been here before with Chris Mo Israel, a man innocent. They tried to throw 44 pounds of marijuana. It wasn't even on his property. He had nothing to do with it, nor was he selling. But because he was a Hebrew with the influence, teaching his children in the community the real ways of the Most High, all those wizards did not like that in Louisiana. And they wasn't banking on nobody coming to try to save him. So that was a Hebrew. We didn't have to wait on the news to see what we could have, should have, would have done. Now here we are in the same predicament, same situation, and hands been touched. This is an open and shut case, if you call this in the lawyer type deal. This is an open and shut case. The case explains itself. It needs no mouth. It needs the right power. That's what we want. I don't want nobody that want money. I want someone that want to see justice. I want jobs. I want careers gone. I want to let you niggas be made examples like you do any other body. Okay? And just because it's your black and white or blues or whatever you call yourselves, all right, or your KKKs in your group, that you don't show no type of partiality, because even the Most High don't show partiality. Back to you, God.
Peace and love. Okay, one thing is you're wavering like as if you're going back and forth on the phone, and so the waves are imitating that too.
Gotcha.
And then documents. Here's from like 1492. There was a document by Pope Sixtus. His name Alexander something. His name is escaping me at the second.
Wait. Hold on. Let me document what now? Discovery. Document. What's the name of it?
Document of discovery.
Of discovery.
It's a canon bull from the Pope that gave certain people the rights to come to this land and enslave. And when you read it, it says get rid of them. And let me say this, Kathy Stewart, El Christina, Islamism, peace and love. Thank you for joining us this morning, not ignoring you. He gave that document gave certain nations the right to come over here and reduce us to animals. It says it in there.
Wow.
In the document, it tells them to come over here, teach us Catholicism, and when we don't accept Christianity and that religion, reduce us to animals.
Wow.
So through the wording of law, this is what they've done. A husband is a caretaker of a farm. That's what a husband is. The care by law. Don't go into your Webster's dictionary. Go into a law dictionary. A husband takes care of a farm and the animals on the farm. It's called husbandry. So this is what they have reduced you to, the manager of a farm, when it comes to your family. You see, you don't have the right to be a man or a woman and determine upon yourself what's right for your family. They're going to determine, because you're just managing a farm. We got to show you how to manage this farm. We got to help you manage these animals you're going to make on our farm. On our farm, we own the farm. You're just a manager managing the other animals on our farm. That's how they look at us. That's how they talk to us, right? Say no. Say they treat you better than that. And then we'll look at the situation with my nephew and say, no, they don't. And then all the others. Then there's documents from 1619 called the Christian Black Codes. And when you read, there's a Caucasian, a white woman, a Caucasian woman, older woman, I forget her name, but she comes on and she does these videos where she says there was no such thing as white people until 1619. White people had to be told that they were white. They had no idea that they were white. Somebody had to come and tell them.
Oh, you talking about that old little lady with the glasses? I know you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So somebody came and told you you were black, African American. What were you before that? What were you before they diminished you? Before they naturalized you? So when we talk about the Reconstruction period, what they did was reconstruct how we know history within our world. And they reduced you with certain words: African, African American, blacks, Negroes, coloreds. They Puerto Ricans. They reduced you within the world with these terms. That's why when you say black, first thing everybody thinks, oh, poor, you come from poor, you come from poor. Our ancestry is very rich. Our ancestry is loaded in wealth. And we start that wealth with health. Our families were healthy. It's not until, and so, see, I don't like just to say the term European. Because when I say it, in your mind, you see Caucasian people, white people. In my mind, when I say European, I see us. I see I see Caucasians. I see a whole bunch of people that are European. It's not the so-called stringy-haired white man. We got to get off that pettiness. When we talk about the people who came over here and enslaved us, many of them look like me and you. Today we call them the Boule. Do you know about the Boule?
Yes, I do.
Their job is in this system.
Teach it though. Everybody don't know. Step into it.
The Boulets are the one who agree with calling you black and African American because and they wrote books that showed you a history of black. That's why every time we read, we'll say, Hannibal was black. No, he wasn't. He was Carthaginian. Jesus was black. If Jesus was a real man, he was a Nazarene. He wasn't black.
Sure was. That's in the scriptures. I'm a Nazarite. Teach.
So would you and I go against that to describe something that white supremacy is responsible for? But we want to get rid of white supremacy. If you keep calling yourself black and African American, you will not get rid of white supremacy. In fact, you are enacting within white supremacy and what they gave you.
Uncle Tom, say it again for the people in the back. Say that whole paragraph again. They didn't hear you.
You are acting within being black and African American. You are acting within what white supremacy gave to you. They made you Black and African American to describe yourself, to have pride in. But they gave that to you so they can diminish you.
And white African American. Remember, a house that divides itself shall fall and be in control. Back to you. I'm sorry.
And so the biggest thing that divided us through all this was religions.
Yep.
The religions got us split, talking all kinds of ways. And no matter what we say, is our people saved? No matter what religion we in, do our people find hardships? Are these hardships in these ways, are they just like, oh, it's part of the world and we go through it? Or is it like an attack upon the people? Some people, they work all their lives, they go to church or whatever, they do it, and they have barely any problems that become public that they would want to deal with. They left them problems to their children to deal with 20, 30 years from now, 40, 50 years from now. After they're gone, 60, 50 years, they left them problems to their children. We keep acting within a system. So, see, I was a child at one time, right? I was a child. And as that child, I heard adults talking about, oh, this problem and that problem and that problem. As I grew up to become a man, I realized I am now in position as a man. I can do whatever I want to solve some of these problems. And so that's what I went in to do, solve the problems. When I went in to solve the problems, you know what I realized? Ain't nobody trying to solve no problems over here. They're just making them worse. So when they were talking about recidivism, the recidivism rate, they keep getting out of jail, going back. Recidivism. Well, I was working within the state system, and one afternoon they called me into the back office and said, you, meaning me, have to send 10% of your population back to jail. What? We want you to go in there, take your caseload, and send 10% back to jail. I got almost 30 people. 10% is 3 people. I'm not the only one. There's like 9, 10 other people in here with caseloads. Everybody's going back to their desk to send 10% back to jail. So that means right now we are making a decision to send 27, 30, 45 people back to jail. And the politicians are on there talking about recidivism rate. So I'm going to sit here at my job and prove your recidivism rate for you? No, I won't. No, I won't. I'm not going to do that. If the politicians are complaining about it, and I'm supposed to be in a position to help fix what's going on in the community and stuff, how are you telling me to feed into what the politicians want done? That don't make any sense. But it's the game. This is the way it works. This is how we get our check. Guess what? I don't want that check where I got to use people in order for me to eat at all. I don't want to bring them type of demons into my world where I'm using people to get ahead. So this is where I'm not a part of any gang. I'm not with any group for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with none of that.
Right.
And anybody who I'm saying I'm with, and let's be honest, Facebook don't get mad. We just keeping it real, right? I'm almost 60, so for me to talk like this is crazy. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you around me and you're not correct, you can get it. And I don't mean kill you. I do mean a straight beat down and then whatever comes after that. If you're not correct around me, you can get it. So guess what? So we don't have to test that. I don't come around. I don't deal with stuff. Because yes, you can get it. I'm going to get pissed. Certain things, certain actions. Like one afternoon, we out on the block and school let out. And a couple of dudes, I was at close to 30. Maybe I was in my 30s. So that means the dudes around me at that time were 26 to 35, right? When the little girls came out of school, they hollering at them. My daughter was still in school. I will kill everybody out here, and I'm using the word so you get it. I'm not standing around while you go after babies. You don't want me there when you're going after babies. It will get real ugly real quick. I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care. I will not stand here and just watch you abuse a woman. And I have to be careful with that because sometimes these women run around here and they're asking for it. And I'm not saying it's right, but they're asking for it. You ain't gonna do that. You know, I have a daughter, and from the time she was a baby, she was told, you don't ever have to stand in no man's face and argue and yell and cuss. Now, I know many don't have a daddy to say these things to them or a man around them to say these things. But now I'm saying it to any side star who hears it. You don't have to stand around cussing and yelling with no man. Your quietness will freak him out. If you're quiet, he won't know which way to go. Then when he's, babe, now you can rationally explain to this man everything you thinking and feeling. He's going to hear your words, and you can do it like with the mommy lips and stuff and in the eyes and stuff. You can use all of that to get your point across to him now, quietly. And guess what? He's going to receive that better than you standing there as a woman. No way. You ain't that. So I come up on a situation where the sister acting like that. All I can do is sit back and hope the brother has enough strength not to put his hands on side. Not to put his hands on it and let this situation wash out. Why? Because the woman is acting out of balance. We don't want to see that, though. I'm a free, independent woman. Really? And you got Section 8, you getting welfare. I mean, it's so deep. I had a sister tell me the other week, she said something was going on, and the benefit was that everybody would get $5,000 a month if this particular person became president of the United States. He made promises to give everybody $5,000. That sister had the nerve to tell me, $5,000, that ain't no money. What? How much you bringing in a month now? Well, I'm not bringing in that much. You ain't even bringing, you just about bringing in half. Well, when I think about, I got to pay this and I got to pay that and all that. What? $5,000, $60,000 a year. Oh, I see what the problem is. You're looking at the benefits from this system that we're fighting the system. We say we don't want the system on us, but you're still trying to keep the system in your life. So you can't really want the system out. You want the system in your life. See this double standard thing right here? And where does it come from? If I'm getting if I was getting 1,500 to 2,000 right now, and now there's a way for me to get 5,000 a month instead. Forget that 2,000. Because I only need 1,000 of that 5,000 to start making a profit. Well, everybody don't think like that.
I say that again.
Everybody don't.
That sounds like an excuse right there. Go ahead.
Why? I mean, it messes my head up because you live in the United States, don't you? That's the whole purpose of the United States. That's the purpose, to employ yourself. You didn't get that?
Oh.
No, you didn't get that. You still go get a job. A job is temporary. That's why they fire you. That's why they're replacing you. Jobs are meant to be temporary, not all your life. You're supposed to be working a job until this thing that you was working on is doing a little better. No matter what that other thing is.
Hey,
that's why
everybody hates jobs, but they love careers. You speaking, boy. Talk.
even okay, so everybody hates a job, they love careers. Some people's career are going to forever be at McDonald's. And I mean on the fry cook line. I don't mean moving up the ladder.
Got you.
On the fry cook line. I mean in a grocery store or a warehouse. That's some people's careers. Only because they didn't seek anything higher than what they're doing.
Right.
Only because they came home tired from their job without enough strength, or they didn't re-strengthen themselves to, I got to give 2 hours to myself at a craft. Spend some time doing something with my hands. That's going to improve my life. So even if I got this stinking job, on certain Saturdays when everybody's downtown making money through their little fairs with different things, I could run down there with something and offer it for sale that I made with my hands. That came out of my mind. That's the United States.
Hey, War already said to go with you. He said they settle. He with you. Everybody's selling it out for comfort. He right.
Yes, sir. And so we can't complain on the bottom end when we do nothing for ourselves, when we keep accepting the gifts off someone else's table. Like it's their table. All we want is the scraps. We're not going to go make a table of our own. Every time we make a table, they destroy it. Every time blacks and African Americans make a table, they destroy it. When other nations build, they can't destroy it. And if they do, it's war. And then, that's when you talk about reparations and stuff. But dang, we ain't even going to, as a nation, we're not even going to put the attempt in to do it. We're not even going to try because they destroy it. You sound like cowards. The only time, and I've been saying this, that like my mother, the way she raised us, her and my dad got a divorce when I was 16 years old, right? So I lived with my dad to be a man. And I lived with my dad, and I'm so thankful. But the real, my parents didn't teach us to study the law. They would say, go to school and be a lawyer.
Brocker shout outs, Aunt Zai. Go ahead.
Going to school to be a lawyer is not studying the law. Just because you become a lawyer and or a judge does not mean you know the law. If that makes any sense to you. Every time a case come up, the lawyer, the judge, and the doctor will go to a book to see what the book says about the symptoms that's occurring right here. Then they start to give you some type of remedy. Prior to that, unless they actually know, like a doctor who just always deals with asthma. You walk in, they put the stethoscope, oh, here goes the problem. He done dealt with it 20, 30 times. When he first dealt with it, he was reading a book about it. Oh, this, that, okay, let's check this, let's check that. His first 2 or 3 patients went through a whole bunch of tests before he realized that, oh, everybody who came in here with these systems, most of them had this problem right here. Now, that's after 10, 15 years. He just put the stethoscope and he's telling you what the problem is right then and there.
Oh, that's a good one. Reading you while you're on the topic. War already says, being a great worker for another company can be a burden too, because he said they will try to keep you there and not promote you. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Who said that?
War ready. Yeah, War ready.
Oh, okay. You got the comments going. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So yeah, they will keep you there. They're not gonna listen. Y'all, people who are like, well, how come you don't have nothing today? I walked away from it all. I had to. And people want me to help destroy us.
And he said
management to marketing.
They will give you a raise, but no benefits.
Say that, bro. Say that, Con.
He said also with it, because it came in late, they will give you a raise, but no benefits to fall back on. God, boy, y'all hitting points.
So you see, and this is what I mean when I say we know the problems, we just not fixing them. I do mean we know the problems, we're not fixing them. We know the problems. A black and an African American can't fix the problem. All they can do is dig up a little thing, a barrier around you, with the idea that this barrier is going to be blown back. They already know. So when we talk about the civil rights, look at everything you lost in civil rights so far. And down south, there's been talk within the last year that they're bringing back the Jim Crow laws down south, right? There's more talk on the internet right now about sundown towns than ever. And this is in a time when you're supposed to be what they call free, and you got your rights and all of that, but there's sundown towns still here. How is this happening? Because we aren't doing our job. So in the management of something, right? As an employer, you tell me I can only work at 4 o'clock. It is my duty to put you on early in the morning. You're going to do what I need you to do. See, I got to get that over you first. That's how important this money is to you. You said you can't be here till 4. I need you at 8 in the morning. That's what I just did. But I told you I can't be there till 4. Well, that's all right. The company, do you want your job? Do you want your job? They start threatening you. That's not a threat. That is a threat. That's a straight threat. Do you want your job? Well, what comes after that? Especially if you're asking me to do something that I already said I can't do. You're threatening me. That's not a threat. It is a threat. And if you threaten me again, I'm going to threaten. See, they don't like me because I talk like that. And so, you know, my mother was telling me, watch your mouth.
Me too already.
Watch how you deal with people. So after a while, I go in there and tell them, my children get out of school at 2:30. No matter what time you put me on, I'm walking out of this job at 2:15. Oh, that's fine. You know, in hiring, that's fine. Then I get in, they see my work, and they're like, wow. So eventually it happens. A day comes where either an employee that's supposed to replace me doesn't show up at the time they should, and or they just put me on the schedule. I go in, I'm not staying here till 3, 4 o'clock. Well, we need no, but I told you I was leaving every day at 2:15. That's your job to cover that. Well, if you leave, you're fired. I'm going to get my babies. You think I care if you fire me? Nobody else going to have hands on my children. I'm not going to go get no babysitter to get my babies. I'm going to my babies. Their mother goes to work. She works from 3 to 11. I work in them at 2:15. I'm going to get my children. I'll lock your store up. I'll close your store up. I'm going to get my babies. And I've done it. And they come back, oh, Garrett, guess what? A week later, guess who they calling to come back to work? Because your inventory went down. Because the system that was set up while I was there to make everything run, that done fell apart now. Now you need me and you're calling me back. Oh, well, look, if you don't come back here by tomorrow, in the next 48 hours, you're going to lose your job. Ugh. Wait a minute. And you know, at the time, I'm at home enjoying myself. You mean I'm going to lose my job? Wait a minute. The other day, I told you I was going to get my children. You told me I can't. You said if I walked out, I was fired. I left. Am I fired? Well, that was just a discussion. You be, I'm me. See, and people, when I say you think I'm bragging, I'm not bragging. I'm telling you to do it too. Do the same thing. Until you make these things important in your life, it ain't nobody else's job to make them important for you, to see it as important for you. That's not their job. If you don't see it as important, you don't forget you. You have to make that the priority in your life, because nobody else, you know what their priority is? Profits. Profits. They don't care. So an example of a profit, and I'm going to yield the floor to show you where you don't matter at. In idea of profits, let's say you take a restaurant, a fast food restaurant, and this year they spent $100,000, they made $2 million, right? So that profit is 190% plus, right? So they made $2 million off 100,000. People like the stock market look at that and say they need to make 2 million plus 3%, which would be 2,600,000. That's how we know this is a successful company. So this year they made 2 million profit. Next year they need to make 2,600,000. So let's say the company has a bad year and they only make $1.5 million. They'll tell you that company was failing and lost $1 million and change. They made $1.5 million. Did anybody else make $1.5 million? That company should be very happy. The stock market should be very happy, but they're not, because there's 1.6 million that was supposed to be on this tape that we expected to be expected. We thought it should be there. We think it should be there. There's no logical reason as to why it's going to be there, except we thought you should do the business the way we thinking and thought. So this is where you find all these companies, and they tell you, oh, they got, they cook the books, they do this. Of course they do it. They're trying to not to be broke. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses, as some would say. They're trying to make sure that on this stock market, they're there, and when you report them next year, they're at the top. So they fudge the books. They steal and rob in order to meet an expectation that is false from the jump. Now look at this nation, at the United States, and the way it runs this thing, and every expectation is false because they expect you to be a Black and African and American, and the only time it's true is when you accept it. I yield the floor.
He said a lot there, didn't he? Him and already out here teaching. Hey, my wife be laughing too, bro. War ready. Yes, this is important about a 14-year-old child in Orange, Connecticut, minding his own business. But as was said, when we don't do what we're supposed to do, we can't expect to see the protection of the Most High. Although these things should not be going on, we must stay tight and do everything that is right, because we don't. It's perilous times now. It's a wicked world, and everybody is just caring for themselves. You can't even see it now, then you spellbound cast to the program. But it's been this way, and we've been asleep, depending on these old false leaders they put into us. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, to get us distracted on another mind and be okay with it, and it's not okay. This is generations of stuff that should have never happened, but balls down back to what the Quran and the script say. All this happened because we didn't want to listen to the Heavenly Father. We didn't want to listen to him. We didn't want to listen to the Great Mother. We didn't want to listen to the Great Spirit. We didn't want to take practices of what was given to us and keep it going. So things happen when we are out of line. And it's a hard pill to swallow when it's on your side, your kind. Who wants to admit this boo-boo, man? Upset? And even, oh man, we out here indulging in with the devil. I was taught, and the words say, go to the devil house, and the spirit didn't tell you you're going to be ate up and spit back out. It didn't say you would die, but you go through some boo-boo you ain't even really have to go through. Puffed up with a chest up or following the bandwagon. That's how, the elders told me, shout out Ziza, a.k.a. Gloria Lamont, his mom, Zakia. All right, that's who he was talking about. See, we was raised from a father-mother household. I'm saying we don't have no excuse. And not only father-mother household, they put that doggone spirit divine behind you. All right? I know for sure my mama told me things when there was no cameras on the block. I thought they were, because how the hell else could she know what I was doing? I'm way across town. Ain't none of church folks over here. How the hell you know what I'm doing? And it was things that my mama were able to do. I know, like she told me streets. I was like, how'd you know? Spirit of God. No nigga want to hear that. At the age, what? God out here snitching? You can't believe that, man. And I'm from the era, even my cuz, where there wasn't cameras, everything. There were barely traffic lights up in Connecticut during that time. I'm 41, about to be 42 years old, bro. So I know for sure that God is real for my mama to know exactly my moves, man. What street I was on. How the hell, bro? I'm saying with no GPS tracker back then. But I look at how when we was raised and what we doing today, that's why stuff like this is happening. You ain't catching Ziza 6 girls out there and no boo-boo, man. Because she wouldn't allow it. If she wasn't there or couldn't make it, your ass ain't going. Sorry, you might want to go to the party, but for some reason, I can't make it, and I don't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? That generation had it, bro, when it came to family. They knew what to do. But now we let these laws and exactly what cuz say, these laws and the man and all these false gatekeepers come in and transform our mind and scare us. And we can see the difference in the raising of back then and what we're doing today. So I didn't have much on that when he yielded the floor, because he the spirit in him took control over everything. A lot of people not gonna like it. I'm used to this. This is my family, and that's why I was glad he was up here, because y'all see where I get it. I get the FUCK mode, and it's not from ignorance. It's, man, I'm tired of this, and I start choking niggas out and bringing them back to life like you just died, my nigga, and brought back to life. You see how serious this is? So you heard him say the same thing, and he was talking about himself. So you know it. This is my genetics. This is my blood, DNA. We all like this, son. All right, Reem, Khalil, all of them. I'm saying when we see something and some injustice, it ain't gotta be our family, nigga. I'm a snap, son. God made me see this right here at this point in time. You ain't getting no mercy, man. You the wicked one, son. All of us ain't like that. You know, some people want to keep their righteous claw. I'm going to smack fire out you and tell you that the Holy Spirit ain't take my claw. Because all you softies around here knew what was going on. Y'all got y'all claw, but y'all didn't do nothing. I smacked fire out this nigga. Now he want to run, skip town, and I give him the phone. Want to call the police? He don't want to call the police because he poking girls and stuff around here. He going to be in further trouble. But until you break that face in, man, you ain't going to run these cats up out of your community, bro. They in the wrong. I'm only here because it came to my door that they messing with little girls. That's your daughter? You don't want to do nothing about it? Go get my pistol, baby. And I'm going to that nigga house and telling him he got to go. I don't care how much land he owns. You better sell it. I don't care what you do. You getting the hell up out this community because why? I have a daughter. And somebody stranger bought and got accusations, okay? And if you act funny with me, I will smack you or might possibly shoot you right then and there, bro. Some way the police is coming or your ass is going. And you seen that he said the same thing, so you know I ain't bullshit, all right? I don't play that shit. I'm patient and I'm calm to a certain degree. I pick and I choose my battles, all right? And some people think that I'm nice or pushover. Nah, it wasn't worth me smacking you up and then going into court. I didn't have nothing for court while I did that. But stuff like this, and you got women hanging and cuffs in the bottom basement, nigga, I'm charging in there like I'm the PDF or the APB, whoever they send that armor truck out there. I'm busting down the door, son. All right, the police don't want to do it, but it came to me. I didn't go looking for this. There was a knock at the door and the information came to me. I'm just the nigga that go forth and go through with it, but depending on if I'm supposed to do it. So I was very glad that he had spit that out, that sometimes some of us got to get that effort and put off the cloth for a little bit, smack niggas around, all right, then put back on the cloth, because the cloth is sacred, meaning your spiritual anointing that God gave you. But it's a reason why the Most High brought you, particularly, which was good with the hands, good with weaponry, to the worstest ghetto ever to move the kingpin out. You think God don't know you're gonna put hands on him? David swung a rock and hit a pineal gland in the nigga head, and it was a giant, and he died and cut his head off with his own sword. So God do send soldiers and assassinations.
What did Jesus do?
Same thing.
Kicked over the coin changers at the table.
Sure did. Call them snake niggas. He get Viper's generation.
Who was soldier for abusing somebody, and then Moses was ready to do more war, right?
Yep.
What did Muhammad do? So let's not saying the Lord, truth, peace, freedom, and justice messed up. There comes a time in this where the physical of self-defense is necessary.
Yep.
And it's not that I like it, but since everybody else is so much love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we don't. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. And what happened with my nephew is a proof of that. It's the proof. Well, if your nephew was living like y'all say, maybe he wouldn't have gone through it. Guess what else? If most of us were living like this, it's a war.
Wait, let me say this so we don't make it about a pagan holiday or whatever. Let me tell you what was their justification. Oh, we thought he was grown because he about almost 6 feet tall. But as you see on the screen, that face that's right there next to his sister, those was the two that was there. As you can see, both of them have the same face. Now they're older, they have the same face, and the boy is about 6 feet tall. Do that look like a grown man to you? In his face.
Wait a minute, cuz. So they've answered to this, and their answer was, we thought he was grown.
You see your niece right there? She was screaming when they were jumping on him. That's a 14-year-old child. They arguing with her, no, it ain't. Like they know his birth certificate. You feel me?
But wait a minute. I gotta start from the. What did nephew do? What did nephew do? See, you're telling me.
Nephew was walking down the street while being black. You know how they say driving while black? Hell, he was doing nothing. You know you're nothing. The boy don't do nothing. He play video games and get candy. You know what I'm saying? He does nothing.
You're hyping me up. These words, see, I stayed out of it for this reason. I have to calm me down because this is the type of thing where we thought he was grown. That's why you put your hands on him?
You shouldn't be putting your hands nowhere, period. Grown or not grown. Go ahead.
But you pushed this child because you thought he was grown. In other words, if anybody who looked like y'all came through here, we gonna touch them if we think they're grown. And that's a threat to all of us. Clear and present danger, wherever that area is. See, that's what I'm saying.
Orange, Connecticut, cuz. Orange, city, Connecticut.
The particular areas in Orange.
I will get that info for you. Particular
areas. There are, like we said, there's still some sundown towns. Particular areas in Orange, in East Haven, and other places where, we people of dark skin, you do need to be careful around these people. They're a little bit psycho. Just your skin color will set them off, or you roll into and then all of a sudden the phone, you have lights behind you. They'll be talking about, it looked like he was prowling on the houses trying to set, just because of your skin tone, that you were setting up canvassing houses to be robbed, people to be robbed, because you're in this particular neighborhood. Now, we haven't had any problems from them. And I know some people who live in these neighborhoods, and they're not bad people at all. They even say, I don't understand this racism and stuff. You're a good guy.
Bro,
get along.
Hey, you know what got me? Is that his sister lives there. That's where they were at, her community. So it ain't like they don't know. Feel me? That's how it was told to me. They were at her sister. That's why they were there. She lives there. Huh?
Pi lives there.
Yes, her daughter. She lives in that area. Yes, for a long time. It ain't like something fresh. She been there, bro. That's why it don't make sense to me. You know who she is.
See, this needs to be handled correctly. And like I said, my cousin has to give me permission to handle it, because even her attorneys, I'm going to sit them down. NAACP don't even come around.
Hey, this ain't nothing new to this channel. I go all day on them cats, bro. Them the boule. That's why I'm glad you went into it. Or what the ghetto, if they can't understand that, you would say, Uncle Tom ass niggas. Them, right there. They give you some money, make you feel good. You see it with Trayvon Martin. Man, there ain't no money in the world gonna make me get my kid back, bro. I don't want your money, nigga. I want justice. I want to see this stop, and you do it so bad that people scared to do some boo-boo like this again. And then it takes action.
But the system, we gotta realize that this system, like, people get mad at me for the things I say. But I tell you, what they do don't matter.
Right.
But their perception of the world is what we're living, what we're existing. So Queen Elizabeth told everybody, we must have perpetual war. That perpetual war is like, leads to you fighting yourself every day. Because when you read books like The Prince says the best slave is one who don't know they're a slave and will help you keep enslaving themselves and the people.
Bingo.
What's the problem? I'm black. I'm an African American. I'm black. You shouldn't do black people this way. You shouldn't do it. You're helping to abuse us. You're keeping that system of oppression upon us. Black and African American are constructions from white supremacy. The only people who are using black and proud real loud are boule. They're the reason why you keep using it. If you're not a part of them, that's their code word to keep you underfoot.
Even so,
an African American, a naturalized citizen of the United States, you're subject to the abuse that the United States dole out. And then people like me, I lose my ability to come and speak for you or to do anything for you. Why? Because you said you're Black and African American. You just said, I'm the property of the United States. I'm a slave to the United States. I am employed by the United States. Everything that I do belongs to the United States. That's how you translate Black and African American into real time today to understand what you're saying, when you say it, and then when you stand up there and tell the police that, and the police are like, oh, well, I got property talking to me.
See?
Yeah, so go ahead.
That's why
anything you say can and will be used against you. So what's your race? Black, African American. Yep. Okay, so go ahead. Well, Your Honor, he was trespassing. But my mama lived there. But you don't live there. The ID in your pocket don't have that address. But my mother lives there. He was trespassing, Your Honor. But see, me, I'm a Moorish American. I'm a American origine. I can go any place I want. And as long as it don't say private property, I'm not trespassing anywhere. All of this land is mine. See, we have a different conversation when I talk to the law. We gave you permission to do some of your business here. This is how I talk to the law.
Maritime Civil.
Permission to do it. How you think you're gonna hold me under it?
Maritime Civil. Mary is the water of the law. Civil is the land. So just like what he been saying, Miss Patti LaBelle, remember when she was a plant? We didn't find out till after she died. Like, good God, she did mad hell against us. That's what he's saying. That's property of the us. Genesis chapter 11. Let us make man. Let us make a speech for ourselves. Let us go out and do this. That's not us. We was here already, son. We didn't want to give our secret language out to people, son. That thing moved power, son. But no, it's talking about plants infiltration. And just like he said, they put your own kind to keep you trapped. Miss LaBelle is a prime example of that. And all those singer entertainments that was with the FBI, the CIA, that in that time they played like they was for you when they really was against you. I know it hurt. But truth is truth. Back to you.
So, I mean, from what we're saying, we're drawing a very clear picture. And we're giving you documents that you can go read for yourself. So I did say the document of discovery.
Yeah.
I did say the Christian Black codes. Because this is going from back to now, how we got here. See, we have to know how we got here in order to cure it. So the Christian Black Code, the Reconstruction period, where they reconstructed history. That was all. The story that's going to be told in school of the building of this nation. And then all of our leaders, people who look like us, were taken out of the story. And the only thing you get is the forefathers of the United States of America. But people like us were here on this land before these so-called forefathers. And we were operating in law, and we had constitution, and we had very big families, and the land was very rich. The land was rich, not us. We were rich in health. The land was free. You wanted fish, you didn't necessarily go to some dude who had all the fish. You had to go to the ocean and get the fish. Or you went over to the ocean and you made a deal with somebody who was already fishing, trade and barter.
Yep.
But they didn't fish over fish. They didn't fish outside of their need. We didn't hunt outside of our needs. Everything that's going on today is outside of an individual need. So the people who own any one of the vegetable companies, I want to deal with corn, right? You got over 2 million cans of corn on the shelf with your name on it to sell. How many of them cans of corn is your family going to eat? Then that's all the corn you should have had. All the rest of that corn is not yours. You rob the people of their wealth. All that fish don't belong to your company. That fish belongs to the people. You're robbing the people. See, we're not looking at it like this. We're not looking at, I have a right to go get that fish myself. I don't need an intermediary to go get it. And we are intelligent enough where the ones of us who are able to go fish, then you come back and feed the family. And the ones of us, because you take some people out and be like, yo, put that arrow right through that deer's eye. Never, no, it's time to eat. Give me the arrow. We're going to eat. Because then I know we can cut this thing down and use the bones for something else, the guts for something, the fur for something. See, I know this. We're going to get dressed in it and stuff. He's going down. With all the blessings from the creator and all of that. Not in a mean way, but it's going down. Oh, the land needs to be tilled. We don't need to pay a farmer millions of dollars when we got hands. You think I want to go out here and dig up the earth? There's something wrong with you. You do it at the job. You go to somebody's job, they'll be, oh, my back hurts. I was working for 20 years. These people don't care about us. Because you won't do it for yourself. That's why they got you doing it with or for them. Until we start completely looking at us for salvation. Did y'all hear that word? Until we start looking to ourselves for salvation, everything that's going on out here is going to continue. We are going to continue to be abused. And I say we, when I don't even face half the stuff anymore because I took care of stuff around here the way I need to take care of it. But then somebody who just meets me, they still think, oh, because you're a black person, you're an African. No, don't use that word. And then they're confused. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, you know what? I'm so tired of trying to figure out who you people are. See, that's the whole point. You're not supposed to be trying to figure out who we are. Once we tell you who we are, that's who we is. So why do you think you need to figure anything out when I'm telling you who I am?
Agendas.
Well, all these years, y'all been called by other people, not by us. We didn't call ourselves black. White supremacy did. And the funny thing, I'm going to say this again, I don't know if y'all caught this point. When we talk about white supremacy, do not dismiss people who look like us as being part of the white supremacy.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again, because they swear all black is holy. Say it again.
When we talk about white supremacy, do not dismiss people who look like us to be a part of white supremacy, of holding us down. So the boule, and if you go all the way back to W.E. Du Bois, because a lot of people like to say, and he wrote, and he said, and he wrote, he was a sellout. He was a sellout when he wrote that book. See, he wanted to be a great author. So in the reconstruction of everything, he had to reconstruct his writing to what they wanted in order for him to be published. He wanted the money and the fame, so he sold out.
Everybody, rappers, singers, he's hitting it. But think about everybody, politicians, pastors, that's a big one, ministers. The book told you stay away from theology. Ask your minister, all of them, imams, what's his degree called? Philosophical theology. Back to you, cuz.
So you're involved anyways. They just don't want you to have once you study it, they don't want you to have your own perception of it. Because once you have your own perception, once you understand what they've been studying and put it into your own, they realize they can't control you anymore because of the way you move now. Now you're letting them know, you don't control me. Certain things they say to you, you're like, well, that's kind of off. I don't need to do that, do I? You need to go in there and look at every man's penis as they're peeing to make sure they're not cheating the drug system.
Hey, rated PG-18. If you are under 18, you need a parental guide. All of this is for educational purposes, and we do know what we're talking about. Back to you.
And that's why listen, I'm going to say this again. See, when the president speaks, he don't tell you educational purposes, do he? And when certain people speak out here in Congress, they don't tell you for educational purposes. I ain't going to say it.
Okay.
I'm telling you straight up, either you do it or we fail, period. Either we start waking up or we fail. I'm saying it, period. And these are tools and things that you can use. So back to documents real quick. The United States Census. Now, when it comes to business, statistics and numbers, we utilize the United States Census. Those of us who know, we utilize the United States Census to get numbers. but they also use it to classify people, right?
Yep.
So when I read the definitions of the races, I don't like that. And you can Google United States Census and read United States Census race definitions. And you can read the definitions of the races for yourself. There's something funky in there, but I'm not going to mention that yet. I'm dealing with the entire package of these definitions. And within it, it says, there is no anthropological, biological, or social reason to use these race definitions. But those are all study of humans. Anthro, bio, and social. These are all studies of humans. If I'm not using these to clarify those things up top, what do those things up top mean?
Nothing.
What do those definitions mean if they're not anthropological, if they're not biological, and there's no sociology in them? What do they mean? I have no business using them. White, black, whatever, Asian, Hawaiian, there's no reason to use them. So now you read the definitions, and all of the definitions say that white people are people who have origins in the original people, and then it names lands. The only group that doesn't say original people is blacks and African Americans. All the other four groups connect them to original people and land. Blacks and African Americans are not connected to original people. They're just groups of people from this Africa, around Africa. That's felonious. That's a false statement. That's the reason you and I get abused. That's the reason we start off poor. That's the reason all these other nations can come here and get on and do proper, except me and you. But let's not just use the system, because this is what it really disgusts me. You and I will stand here and say, the Jamaicans, the Puerto Ricans, everybody will come here and live in one big house, and then everybody's working, they put their money together, they send it back home. So you and I don't have no back home that we think of to do that with, right? And then this one gets a house, and then that one gets this. And you and I, we've known that for over 20 years, and we never even tried it. We never even, and then what are you complaining about them for? What are you talking about them for? You've seen how the success was made, but you can't do it yourself. By the time I can't wait till this boy get out of my house. I can't wait till this chick get out of my house. That's your attitude. That's what you say, and that's what you do. And that's what happens. So by the time your child is 17, 18, they don't learn they need to be out of the house. By 21, they want to be out of the house, and now you just gave away all your wealth. And because you just gave it, now your wealth lives on the other side of town. So now timing with each other is barely seen. You can't build anything from the other. It falls apart. But yet and still, every 15 to 20 years, this is what we gravitate to. We assist the system in destroying us because of, I'll pull it from the book, The Prince. We are slaves who are helping to enslave ourselves. That's what we are. We are the slaves helping to enslave ourselves. They don't have the reins. We keep giving it to them. Black people, black, African American, we keep handing them the reins. We keep giving them permission to be in charge of us. And personally, me, I've been tired of it. If people want, we're having this for our people, Juneteenth. I'm not coming to any Juneteenth event.
Either. I don't even talk about it.
A Juneteenth event means that I agree with, we came from Africa, we were slaves. And I keep telling you, we were here before 1492. So I'm not going to a Juneteenth that tells people we just got here.
Also celebrating when they killed one of your kind and saying that it's okay with it, like a Martin Luther King Day. What? Nigga, where Peter and them at? Where Muhammad at? Ain't one of them days, is it? If we stay in them type power, high frequencies, then you will see what we saying. Like if you tell them, yo, you around here fighting the gods, the spirits, oh, they're gonna get right. But if you keep agreeing, being conformed to this world, basically what he's saying, then they're gonna always run over you because the world rules over you. Back to you, cuz.
And so everything that we're saying, I mean, yes, you can find these same teachings inside of these religions, but here's my thing about the religions. I don't want you to feel like you don't need religion. That's not what I'm saying. I do want you to see that no matter which religion, who told you lawfully, by law, you are not Black and African American? Which religion told you that? Then don't talk to me about religions. I don't want to hear nothing. They help conform the lie. And the worst place to conform a lie is within self. That's the worst place. See, there's bootleg who know they're not Black or anything. They're telling you they haven't conformed to the lie. You and I who buy into the I'm Black and we wrap ourselves around that, you've conformed to a lie.
Yep.
And everything that you do from that lie must produce a lie. Yep. Must produce phonyism and unrealness, no matter what it is. Like I said, how come you don't have nothing? Well, I got things, but a car and a house. I never wanted a car because I had a bike once and I got a flat. And the stuff that I was carrying on my back, I was only carrying it because I had the bike. I get there quicker. The bike had a flat. The bike ended up in the bushes. Some of the stuff I was throwing away as I got home. I only kept the main stuff that I wanted. That'll never happen again. So then I'm in somebody's car. We're coming up the highway and we get stuck in traffic. I was ready to get out the car and walk. But that's dangerous. But if it was my car, that car would have been parked on the side of the edge with the keys in it. And I'd have walked. I'd have grabbed whatever I wanted and I'd have walked. I'd have left the car there. The car and all of that was like a hindrance to me. It all started one day. Somebody said, come across town. And I guess I left on a Sunday. And I left in the in-between time. It seemed like the bus was taking forever to come. I started walking. Don't you know when I got to the other side of town, the bus pulled up behind me and I was only 2 blocks away from where I'm not waiting for. I don't care nothing about no transportation like that. Those things break down. They can't keep up with me. And I've been that way ever since. Owning my own house. I don't want to have to try to fight taxes and stuff in order to keep the house. You're not going to tell me I'm purchasing the house. I got to pay taxes in order to keep it. That don't sound like I own anything.
To you, who had nothing to do with my payment, man, you getting free money.
I knew this from the beginning. So I'm not going to set myself up for failure ever in that manner. No, we might as well just rent. How can it hurt us for renting when we'll never lose it if we're renting? It can't be on our credit record or anything like that. We never lost it because we never owned it. So right. This is my idea, right? So when you say, how come you don't have nothing? Half the stuff you talking to me about having, I never wanted. If I ever had a car, you also realize he had a woman with him, and the woman did all the driving in the car. It was her car. I didn't get it for me. I got it for her because she wanted that. Not for me. I don't need it. I'll ride a horse. I'll walk. All my ancestors walk.
So get I'm content walking, but I walk all the time like that. Man.
And the people you see and meet when you're walking, as opposed to driving by everybody, you meet some interesting characters. You might meet somebody who changes your life. So I'd rather do that than to have a car and a house. And if I did have that or that money, I'd be one of them to say, what's wrong with this guy?
Let's go up a notch. Let's go up a notch. Let's talk about the sorcery of those who think they own if they don't have an allodial title. See, just because it say you don't own nothing, you are co-registered, brother.
That's the part about your car and the DMV and why they get to pull you over. Because it's paid off. Park it on the street without paying the taxes. Let's see what paid off me. So this is part, you don't own anything. The system is designed for you not to own. You have a perception of owning. So you got Big Willie standing up there like, I got 15 acres and that, and I got that's that Lincoln Town car parking my 2-car garage. Miss your tax payments.
Oh, wait. How about we say, talk about a Semitic and watch what they did to Nick Cannon and Kanye. What you own? Checkmate.
And what they're doing to Diddy right now. And not sticking up for Diddy, but not going against Diddy either. For what I'm saying, not sticking up for him and not going against him. This is what he's going through. His whole thing, once he decided to sue Diageo, that's when his problem started.
Yep.
That's when they want to take him down. Prior to that, if he wanted to destroy us and kill us, didn't nobody care. But because he went after them, now it's a problem. Because he went after them. Everything he's doing is a problem. And they're showing you, look, he wasn't on your side. Diddy wasn't your friend. These people in the industry aren't nice to you. Look, we got documents showing you how they'll abuse you and they'll do you wrong. So what do you own?
Is that not, wait, while you talking about owning, is that not going back to the message of what you've been speaking the whole time about the discovery document, about how your own kind That's what I heard when you say, hey, look, the rappers is not your friend. But what color are they? What are they? They are us. They are nation. This is what I say when I say they are the slaves. They are the Israelites in Egypt right now. They the one tap dancing, blood drinking, and doing crap they don't want to do. While I'm asleep, peaceful. Ain't think about these cats. They trying to come up ways to get me and you. Back to you. You just proving a lot. You proving a lot.
So you like people. This is some simple stuff. If you study it, this is real simple. Because the bottom line is, you really want, I don't want to say you want to be free, but you do. You just want to exist. You don't want all these stuff, but the only way to get it is you have to seek back to what it means to actually be free. And none of us have been shown properly how to get this done. So then people, like what I say, and like I'm having a hard time because I don't want to, of all our leaders, there was only one leader who said to us, your problem is you keep calling yourself Black and African American. And that was Prophet Noble Drew Ali. No other leader said it to us. Then the problem is when you hear the word more today, the only thing, oh, that's a religion. That's a religion. It's not a religion. There is religion in it. But being a Moor isn't a religion. It's a national movement of our governance of self. So in this confusion, we have broken it down to say we're all American originees. Then you could, I'm a Moor, somebody else is something else, somebody else, but we are all American originees. So if you're still arguing, instead of saying Black and African American, we are American originees. And American originees are not citizens of the United States.
War already says everybody that's your skin folk ain't your kin folk. Go ahead.
We are our own nation of people with our own culture and our own way of doing it. See, as American originees, as much as we like to perform and stuff, you will never hear me on stage talking about that B to this, the B to this, and the B to that, and something this, and that, and this. You will never hear me on stage like that. So that means the women who are the side stars who are on stage with me, they're dressed. You can't, I even have, the only thing you'll see is their eyes. Women have beautiful eyes too, right? That's the only part you'll see of them. The rest is covered up. And I'm not saying that I will go that far and drastic. I'm just saying in the image of what we see, you won't see our side stars out there dropping it low and twerking and turning.
I'm glad you say that because it tells us what attire You know, the real deal, not no slave stuff. It tells us the attire. You want it basically you want to attire when you step out there and on a rouse or take a man off the mind of what he's supposed to do. I'm glad you're saying these things. Keep breathing, man. Keep breathing.
Not just men in today's world, and I don't have nothing against it. Other women too.
You right. You right.
With your body parts hanging out, you got women painting like dogs just as hard as you got men painting today.
You right.
For a woman. So and we all like and dislike what we doing don't. So no shine on nobody. I don't mind, have nothing against two women being together. I love it. So I'm a man. And like I said, when it comes to we all got myths, nobody's perfect. Okay, so then that's one of my sins if you want to consider it a sin. I don't care. It's what I like. I'm not going to hold back and say, for the public, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm about one thing and then you find out later, he about something else. He just like everybody. No, I'm going to tell you the truth up front.
Lay it all out on the table.
Operate with me and around me, you don't make a mistake. Say that, cuz?
I said, it need to be more people like that because at least you know what you're getting into or what you don't want to get into. Lay it all out on the table. Yep, that's what I say.
And that's all it is. And so when people think I'm being braggadocious and all that, no, I'm not. People want to say, no, I'm not. I'm telling you who I am so that if we have a personal relationship, you don't ever cross the line.
Let's take, for example, Mr. Jakes, right?
I'm crossing that line.
Let's take Mr. Jakes or any pastor or whatever, Iman, that ends up being one way and find out through proof, oh shoot, this dude got a whole nother life. See, he wasn't real and upfront in the beginning. Had he been upfront in the beginning, this wouldn't be a problem. I'm saying that's what cuz is saying. The Bible tells you that no man is sinless. So don't act like your stuff don't stink. Just be yourself. And the more you get closer to the Most High, the more deliverance of whatever is not right he'll do on his time. Back to you.
Amen. And so it's funny you bring him up because he was on there talking about, have you ever swallowed?
No, I ain't never even thought of.
What is going on? And we're entertained. We're entertained by all of this madness instead of entertaining ourselves. How did, I grew up with Public Enemy and Chuck D. To this day, that's still my favorite hip hop group artist. I like a few others. I like pop, but Chuck D. Yeah, Public Enemy, 100 then, 100. Their words then still fit today. I disagree with the Black and African American today, but the nature of what they were saying, it stands today about us being men and women in our own rights and dealing with ourselves. So that's my group. But it seems like every other group brought into the I'm a pimp, I'm a hoe, I'm a good hoe. If you're going to call me the B word and you put a miss in front of it, this is ignorance. But this is what that industry brought us. So did the artists really want to make that kind of music, or were they encouraged to make that? Was that type of music massaged into us? And it just brought out. I've heard underground rappers, and when they first started, when everything first started, I heard underground rappers. The rappers weren't rapping the dirt in the industry. They had other raps. It was when they decided to try to get in the industry. Greetings, Shabaka. It was when they decided to try to get in the industry that they changed up to the dirty lyrics and stuff like that. Prior to that, they wasn't saying that. So it's like that, just like the document of discovery, just like the Christian Black codes, just like the United States Census, just like the Book of Prince, somebody made a blueprint for hip hop artists, R&B artists. If you want to be a prophet, if you want this money, you're going to sell out and you're going to do this. You're going to degrade yourself and your people in order for you to have this. Wow. Sick.
Boy already said, my man said that in the pulpit like that was from the Holy Spirit. They don't care, man. It told us we living in the wax worst time ever in the life. The world is really showing us, bro. That's all I gotta say. I'm seeing innocent people go to jail, possibly get killed when they go in, and then they talk about some, oh, we got the wrong person. You just killed this guy. I'm saying, and just going, oh, we got the wrong person, bruh. Nah, man. This is exactly what the Most High said was gonna happen, man. When we don't listen and follow His commands, which is whatever the Spirit tell you in your mind, not no bunch of stuff on no damn wall or none of that. You have something called, if you're doing something wrong, you're gonna feel convicted. It ain't gonna be no supernatural. Your heart just gonna be like, I don't think you should do that. Back to you, cuz.
Yes, sir. Because that's exactly what it is, yo. People, we gotta change. This stuff is so. It's like you already know, but in order to put food on the table, you don't want to know. In order to keep up with the Joneses and clothing and stuff. It's like this, right? How many of our sisters can go without getting their hair and nails did each week? Can you go 2 or 3 months without getting your hair and nails done? Well, why would I want to do that? Because if everything falls apart, you might go the rest of your life without getting your nails and your hair did. And if you do, it's going to be 4 or 5 of you sitting in a corner because we're standing on the wall looking for danger. So y'all are in a corner hiding. During that time, you're spending your time. You're doing each other's hair and fingernails. Maybe that's what needs to happen to show you to stop going to all these foreign beauty supply places and beauty supply stores. Maybe your hair on your head, in order for you to value it, you have to, the process for you getting other people's hair has to stop. The corn braids are very cute on you. They've been cute. Them I would use another word, but them corn braids made y'all who y'all are today. Okay? So seeing your corn braids was beautiful. Then there were a few other hairstyles that y'all wore, and you flipped the corn braid, box braids, and it is that was, oh my God, y'all were gorgeous.
Wait. I'm glad you went there, because I have an honest question. When did we do that in styles when this was originally made for the Underground Railroad and Miss the Jamaican lady, Elizabeth Curry, for the slaves to be free? That's why cornrows and dreads and certain type of styles was put, because they was actually GPS maps to where to meet to be free from the master. Back to you.
Wow. So, see that right there? Did y'all hear that? The corn braids were GPS maps to tell you how to be free. So when we talk about our own culture, how deep are corn braids? But you all took it out for weaves, for pressing. Thank you for sharing, Shabaka. The corn braid styles, Christina. You want to take the hot comb and put it to your roots. You're destroying your senses some kind of way. You're destroying what you know what I'm saying? You're destroying what the Creator gave you. How many women with the fake eyelashes, fake fingernails? Oh, I don't like my breastises. Well, the Creator gave them to you. Let me tell you a secret, ladies, and I'm going to be forthright on this. There are very many brothers who would like to be able to look at their body parts and change it out for another one. To have a big one. And they can't. Or they could, but they don't. But there are many brothers, but they'll be like, oh, Lord, I wish it was longer. I wish it was not. Surgery on that. So you going to get these BBLs and all that? Please, sisters, stop. Love what the Creator gave you. You have small breasts, maybe you won't get breast cancer from all the chemicals and stuff. The Creator made you. Remember that. The Creator made you knowing what you're going to go through. So your little breasts are what the Creator made. You should, as long as they feed your children correctly, there shouldn't be any problem. I want a bigger butt. For what?
More problems? More problems? Because the slave master.
And what did they say? Don't they say these BBL stink? You're destroying the beauty that the Creator gave us to enjoy, and then you want somebody to accept you for you. You don't accept you for you.
One more thing, because you hit a lot. On the hair thing, the Hindu and the man both pray rituals over the hair of the weave to take away your crown. That's why they sell them the fake weave and all of that, and you putting it on your head. And again, what did you just say just now before I did that?
Do you mean the part about the men? If we could switch out ours, the BBLs thing,
right? And the BBLs. Remember Big Butt Bertha? The man loved that. Put her up, bought her in France, and used her as a hooker. What is the entertainment doing to these women today? Checkmate.
Definitely. Foxy Brown, Little Kim, a few others.
Nicki Minaj, even the white ones. What's that one with the nice rapping voice? She can really rap. I can't think of off the hand, but her, the other one with the demon name, rah 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 rah. All of them, they like that Big Bertha slave butt. Yeah, with the yes. She got, I can't think of her name, but she can flow though. She can flow.
Not only can she flow, listen, I watched some videos. Nicki Minaj might be a trooper for real, and the one you're talking about, I didn't like her at first, but after I heard some of the stuff she's went through and dealt with,
Iggy, I think that's her name or something like that. Yeah.
Who did you say?
Iggy, something like that. It's something like that.
I can't think of her name. She's the one with the squeaky voice, though.
Yeah.
They're intelligent, yo, and they on some game too. They on some real game. Like Nicki Minaj was on with Ray J the other day, and she was checking everything Ray J had to say. She was checking him. Stop playing with me, boy. Stop playing with me. Because this is what, like, what they call handlers or anything. They come on to play with you when you're delivering real messages and stuff. Then they come on and, yeah, I'm so-and-so, and because I appreciate what you're doing. So do you think that, no, why, if you really appreciate, why you off my subject? I was on the subject. How you come in here, you think I'm going to let you change my subject into what it is you want to talk about?
Right.
Then the next thing I know, we're talking about you having a hard time and feeling. You trying to take up the energy. Get out of here. And that's how she stepped to Ray J. And I was appreciating Miss Petty because she told him to call her Miss Petty, not Nicki Minaj. I don't know if that's her name or married name, or she's like being facetious saying, call me Miss Petty. But Miss Petty put Ray J in his place. Cardi B. Is that who you was talking about, Cardi B?
Cardi B? No, she got rhymes too. No, I was talking about the white girl. I think it's Iggy, whatever her name is.
Okay, I don't want to know her at all. Ziggy Azalea.
Right.
I'm not too familiar with her or anything.
Right. Yeah, they making all of them come out with. Oh, one more thing while I got you. Everybody, this was the family member I was telling you about when I visit up in Connecticut. And 6 months later, let me see, that was like in June, July, August, September, October, November. 4 months later, remember when you said the Most High led you in the spirit and you found out trafficking through different websites? Remember that? I do. Yeah. I remember it clear as day. Well, now that's a big thing now. Ever since the Cam presidency and the Senate letting the diddler do what he do, that was the main component about the websites. And I was like, yo, I got to shout my cuz out because that revelation didn't come from me. That came from you through the Most High. So this is the person who has spoke about it. We got it on video. It's on video. Back to you, cuz.
So don't worry. Islamism, Sasha. Don't worry about coming in on the beginning. Cuz that was through a cartoon. I saw that in a cartoon. I was reading a cartoon that they had on the internet, and I was like, wow, hold up. Something made me read this cartoon like 4 or 5 different times before my brain said, don't try to figure out what the cartoon is saying. Take it for what it says. And as soon as I did, I saw a code where they were selling drugs and people through this particular site. And just the way it was worded. And I forget, I don't have it written down or anything. But it's just weird. This is the first time. This isn't the only time.
I'm gonna find that video because you said it. I'm gonna find that video and post it. I got you. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. I start talking about stuff. So we was at the table the last Friday. I was at a table with some people. We were talking, right? And of course, everybody, listen, y'all. I'm not. I deal with facts. We were talking, and the young lady started saying how in my neighborhood we got all types of people. She started naming different races, religions, and stuff like that. And when she said the Muslims, I told her, when it comes to those foreign Muslims, we need to be careful how we operate with them. Because once again, this ain't everybody, but there are quite a few. And I know that I sat in a Talim service where the sheikh was teaching, the imam was teaching, and the way he was teaching, it was like, so if y'all come with me afterwards, I'll show you our terrorist bill that we want to run through the United States. And I was like, oh, for real? I'm in front of this. I see it. But I didn't really go for it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
So when she was saying that, I told her to be careful. In the New Haven Register last Saturday, front page, they made an Iranian connection from here in Connecticut on the attempt on Donald Trump.
Wow.
An Iranian connection to the assassination of Donald Trump. On Friday, I told her this. On Saturday, it was in the paper. And this doesn't happen once. This keeps happening to me. Every time I say something, you can go to the paper and find it. You can go on the internet and find it. It's right there in front of us. Shavaka, I am only going to be on here as long as my cousin keep us on.
Oh, that's until they tell us we run out of battery or whatever. You know, go ahead, cook. Anybody else, we just got a 3-way call them. That's all.
So, braids, locks were before the Underground Railroad. Maybe they was, not arguing that. We're just saying the way they got used, or the way it's reported they were used, were to make a map, a GPS, so that people could be free. So this is what I mean when people jump in conversations. What are you trying to bring out? What are you really trying to say? Braids and locks were before the Underground Railroad. Fine. They got used for GPS. Each and every one of us do things to enhance our body, be it natural or through assistance. Natural is, I guess, me doing push-ups to make, that would be a natural. But if I start taking steroids, I'm going against the creator. So that's the assistance. I'm going against the creator. If I start using steroids, they hype me up in a certain way. And then there's always a back damage to it, ain't there? Isn't there a back damage to BBLs? Isn't there a back damage to them fake silicones you put inside you to make your breasts larger and stuff like that? Isn't there a damage? So then the fact that we do it don't make it right. And this is my point. We keep trying to stick up and argue ignorance.
Yep.
If you wasn't in the conversation from the beginning, it might be hard to say what you're saying in a manner where it's accepted later on in the conversation. And so this is why when I hear people talking about stuff I can get in, I stay out of it. Why? I don't know where this conversation started. I'm not coming in on this conversation. I'm not saying anything. And it's not a question of who's sticking up or arguing. When we talk about our people, you cannot turn around and make the comment, each and every one of us do things to enhance our bodies. You are excusing the wrong stuff that we do. You're limited. I won't let it happen. I told y'all that. Don't have half a discussion with me. Have the whole discussion. That your natural, whatever you do, like braiding your hair to make it longer is natural. Putting chemicals in your hair to make it longer is unnatural. Assistance. That's through assistance. And so then there's repercussions for doing that, whether it be cancer in your head or something that goes to another part of your body that causes cancer or something else, or something like taking Ozempic pills. Oh, my eyes hurt, so you take a pill, and then next thing you know, your arms, your limbs are falling off, and you're having a heart attack from these pills and stuff that you took because your eyes was hurting and you had a headache. So all of this is the thing. We have to stop trying to qualify doing wrong with something that's natural. Doing push-ups and braiding my hair is not getting a BBL and adding weaves to my hair. These are two different things. And it's so weird because when I first started my locks, people told me, dudes in particular told me, or asked me, are those extensions? What? That's your real hair? Yeah. What makes you?
Good. I'm glad you.
Extensions. They've got shoe polish on their face and in their beard. What is wrong with us?
Cuz, I'm glad you said that. Cause I was like, what nigga is putting weave in there? That's girly stuff. I found out they were coloring their beard. I said, this is crazy. This is crazy.
It's metrosexual. Metrosexual. That's what all this is based behind?
Oh my God.
Come on, man. Y'all forgot, or y'all don't know. We are the Alpha and Omega by our actions and our deeds, by our words. We are the Alpha. The rest of the world measures itself off us and what we do and don't do. The entire world measure themselves by me and you. And then when me and you lack, they just pick up where we lack and then like put it on our backs for where we lack. That's why we're going to jail, we're dying, the drug dealing, and all of that. You know, we're the ones who pay for it. Our community pays for it harder and better than any other community out there, when it's the other communities who bring these stuff into our community to get access to. This is a problem. Because people just want to fit in and get along and go along and we're supposed to be turning down certain things. And there's something in the scripture about turning down with the world. I'm not going to go for that verse, but maybe cousin could say it. There's something in the scripture about turning down the world and the world's offers.
That's right. You was at the world.
We refuse to do that part. We refuse to turn down their offers. And that's why we're losing. Well, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get mine. Get your what? You're not getting your blessings from the Creator that you talk about every day and you try to hold everybody to. You took what the Creator gave you and diminished it.
Say that again.
You took what the Creator gave you and diminished it. So let's say we was having a party, right? And somebody said the party is gold and blue. Those are the colors. And so on that night, you went and got gold or blue contact lenses and put them in your eyes. There is nothing wrong with that. Nothing. But when you wear those contact lenses on a daily, talk about you're enhancing your appearance, you don't like the real you. You don't like what the Creator established as you. And that is a sin. That or wrong to self and to any of the little ones looking up at you. They're not looking at you. They're looking at this image you wish to portray. Just like now, baby, are you sweeping that? Because we won't sweep it. Stop. Stop up here. Don't touch nothing else. You don't have to touch nothing up here, baby. I'll do that because you're doing it. I'll do it. But he's supposed to do it because he broke my vacuum cleaner because I was vacuuming this all the time. But I'll do it because I see you doing it. Just stop. Go back and relax your day and do whatever you do. Okay? So then you don't need to be up here doing a daggone thing. See, so that's my daughter. she's cleaning, but my daughter, I'm not gonna let her do that.
Tell cuz I said, hey. She's so sweet.
No, say that, cuz.
Tell cuz I said, hey, and Islamism and Baraka. I love cuz, man.
Touches BC and Sawa never sending you greetings, baby. They said they love you. You hear?
I heard it. That's how we do, y'all.
So we have to stop. We have to stop trying to qualify ignorance as if, well, everybody does it. It's normal because everybody don't do it. Everyone doesn't do it. Well, through natural, there's nothing wrong with natural enhancing oneself. It's when you rely on, I want to say fake stuff, but there's another word I could use. It's when you rely on other things to enhance you outside of self. That's when I say it's wrong. That's when I say it's too much. That's when I say we don't need it. That's when I say you're going against the creator, what the creator has established. What's that thing about let no man tear down what God has brought together or something like that?
You said it just right. That's exactly how I said.
Say that again, Tom?
You said exactly how it's worded. Yep, go ahead.
So, from the time that mommy says, ooh, I'm pregnant, that's what the creator has brought together. So anything that you do opposite of what the creator brought together is a foul and it's a sin. So now, this brings us to a sticky conversation of abortion. What does all this have to do with your nephew getting jumped?
Everything. Teach him.
Because it's the thoughts that had my nephew out there trick-or-treating that got him jumped. Because if he knew I ain't got no business out here trick-or-treating, if he really wanted to go trick-or-treating, then it should have been taken around the adults and they should have built something where he had a little party. People came and dropped off candy and now he's in his private place at his party and he don't get jumped, right? But because we're trying to fit in with everybody else, we get to say things like abortion and it becomes a subject that really from the creator is abortion a subject.
Wait, I must interject one thing, cuz before you go in though. The mother, within her will, said, I don't do this. You know, Cam. And she said the exact words, I can hear all the family. So this one time, I'm going to let him go. And in that one time, when he walked out the door, the Most High showed her the vision is why he's still breathing. She didn't want to accept it. So I wanted you to know she was on it. But because, like what most of us do, well, the family, they keep saying this and that. By her keep doing her way, she never had to face those things. But the one time, that's all it takes. One time she wanted to because all the other cousins and them do it. Not that was put in her head, just letting you understand the situation. Now go ahead. Okay,
very good. See, knowing that now, and knowing that he's a child, and he wanted to feed into it because the mother wasn't with it. He wanted to feed into it. It's almost kind of like you got your butt whooped. The creator made sure since you wouldn't listen to your mother, the creator spanked you. The way he got spanked, it goes around. This is like a cycle. So he got spanked for wanting to do something he shouldn't have been a part of. But the people who spanked him, y'all get spanked too for doing something that you know you shouldn't have been doing. Jumping on an innocent person for anything. So this is a circle where everybody gonna get spanked. A vicious cycle, as we call it. It's a vicious cycle. So vicious cycle. When abortion comes up, it usually comes up with the phrases, a man doesn't have a right to tell a woman what to do with her body, which I can mostly agree with, unless you're claiming to be a woman with me and then you get pregnant. Then you talk about aborting one of my children? No, I'll leave you.
Right. They use their body as a right when it come to baby, and that's not right when you about murder. Teach, cuz. Teach. You ain't even been here. Teach.
So this, for those of us who have a theocratic thought of life, talking about abortion ain't even on our radar. We don't discuss that. Well, what if a woman gets raped? Oh, that's a special situation. Now, I don't think she should have to live with that misery if she don't want to. But the creator still allowed, but she got raped. It wasn't her will.
That's a force, yeah.
The creator still, that could be what we call the devil. She got raped, and that's how that baby came about. So she decides to get rid of that child. I'm not saying nothing to her. I don't think she did anything wrong because she got raped. She made a complaint. The person who she said raped her got arrested and all of that. So no, I wouldn't hold that against it.
Hey, check this out. We already facing that because this is how we got mixed breed in our family because master raped the enslaved woman and she kept the baby and loved it because he didn't. Loved it like this is our cousins. So we already living this thing, what you saying. Good. I'm glad you said it.
Now, even with the rape, because we got to be careful now of that type of rape.
Right.
There was a thing called white slavery where our people were enslaving everybody and Caucasian people.
Right.
And we were making babies like crazy with them Caucasian women.
Yeah.
So by the time we go into slavery, see, this thing had already been going on. It had already been a part of the world.
Right.
And we were the ones doing it first.
Right.
So when we talk about what they did, think of it this way too. Some of our women gave themselves to master thinking that she was going to get a better way, a better life, and then she got dogged out in the end too. Well, that master raped me. Master raped me. Well, that's because you got dogged out, and now you got to tell your grandchildren and stuff you got raped, but you actually gave yourself to the master. Others of us in situations like they want to say for R. Kelly, right? The parents gave up the child for wealth, to eat, to have a roof, for clothing. So, or you sent your child to work for those people over there to help bring money. And when they got there, they got abused. It wasn't all that physical, nasty rape. Running in there, just taking people beyond their will. In a lot of cases, we gave ourselves to them. And I know that's hard to face or understand or anything. But you're just dealing with everyday people in all these situations. And that's the part that's really hard for everybody to understand. We keep looking at the slave master and the slave like they were some type of special group of people who were going, no, they were just like me and you. And right now, today, you and I give ourselves over to slavery when we go get a job. Because we're not thinking about how to work for ourselves. You fall into the slavery of somebody else's job. So in the industry, they got you giving over yourself, your children, and a few other things in order for you to be inside of the industry and make that millions of dollars. And they're not going to share it with you unless you're giving up something detrimental to yourself. So you're giving it up. These are choices for men to go sleep with Clyde Davis. Men to go be with Clyde Davis, another man. Take the Caucasian off him. He's another man. But for $1 million, people will do the dirtiest things. They just want to hit it in the closet. Then one day they wake up and, oh, this was wrong. And you want to speak against it. You already did the do. You already made the deal. So now you go to jail for 20, 30 years based on some felonious rape or something. Yo, it's a system. It's a vicious cycle that we are allowing ourselves to participate in when we have the way and not besides the right. We have the way to get out of it. See? So our personal opinions don't matter in anything, in any of this stuff. And if you feel like I've given you a personal opinion today, that's what I need you to point out to me that, oh, well, all you did was give us your personal opinion. And Because I'm going to start with, I didn't give you my personal opinion. I gave you facts about certain things. And then I gave you facts about how we deal with it. No opinions. I don't have time for opinions, for what I think, for what I feel. If we talk about what I feel, like feelings. My ex-wife is running with my son. Now, y'all want to talk about my feelings? Because none of y'all really know about that. And if you did, you heard it in passing. She running with my son. You really want to talk about my feelings with that? Imagine the most valuable thing you had, somebody came and stole it from you. And you knew who did it, and they were waving it in your face. Let's talk about feelings, because you know how you would feel. She running with my son. So I don't talk about feelings. I don't have room to talk about feelings. I talk about facts.
Let's add putting dirt on your name. Lies on top of that. Let's add that also.
Say that because
let's add that there were lies pressed upon you in order for that stealing to take place. Let's add that for the people who like judging you and don't know really the real situation. See, stuff like that, I don't like that. All right. You know what I'm saying? That you my blood. I don't hang around, you know what I'm saying, wicked people. You ain't wicked. But some people need to look into people's files and learn that sometimes people lie and stuff. You know what I'm saying? With the family supporting you, you think family gonna support you? You was really like that? So they lied and stole the child, and now I'm gonna throw it in his face. I would like everybody to understand, because sometimes he hold back because it sounds like he tooting his own horn. Therefore, it's coming from another mouth. Back to you, cuz.
Thank you, cuz. And I don't. And in dealing with this, I already hurt my son once in describing everything, and the way I described it. And my brain said say one thing, but something that my mouth thought would be like less hurt my son. And so I don't want to do that again. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be careful in what I say, because I do have my son. I love my children to death. And I love children to death. And through everything, I've never been told I can't be with children. In fact, the state will tell you, oh yeah, he's the right man to have around your children. He'll make sure they're safe.
Yep.
So then, what's all this other stuff? It's felonious, because I wouldn't take $80,000 to stop talking to my people. That's what I mean. I turned down a bunch of money. To this day, those people would be paying me $80,000 a year just to sit down and shut up and stop talking to you and I. But I realized, if I take this money, then what I've done is my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, I left them in the funk. So therefore, you can kick rocks with your $80,000. It don't mean nothing to me.
Before there was a Jamal Rashad and everything he faced, this what you looking at right here. Same thing, but this happened way before we came to the scene. So the same thing.
Way before Facebook, the internet, or anything else. And because I'm not a braggadocious person, disapprove it. Like, you can go through different newspapers and find clippings about me in the articles. I never even went back and got those clippings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need to go back. I did it. I was working. I wasn't looking for no fame. So I didn't keep book scrappings of everything that I did. And when I was on TV, every interview, I didn't keep scrapping. I didn't try to keep none of that. I don't need to. My work keeps showing up. So that's all that it's about is the work and what you stay consistent with and what you fail at. And so I didn't fail at anything. I was railroaded because I wouldn't accept money, because I had over 20 youth men. Let's just deal with the men part. I had over 20 of them not in the street, and the system needs them in the streets. See, they need to arrest them in order to keep their jobs going. The way I was working with these young men, they're not going to jail. They're firemen. One is a fireman. Security guards. They're working and doing well. They're fathers. at home with their children. They didn't abandon their children, but supposedly like the generation before them did. These are the young men I work with. And so I don't like take all the credit because they had good mothers. And in some cases, they had good fathers who just wasn't in the home, but the fathers would come pick them up and spend time with them, right? But from Monday to Friday, I had them children. And the only thing they were really being taught, learn to respect each other. Learn to respect, whether you disagree, whether you hurt, learn to have respect for each other. As soon as you all have respect for each other, learn value for each other, then you'll be able to work the other stuff out that y'all think is so detrimental and all of this. It's not. And so, as Cuz say, I was doing this work. I've always been this way, but I have to admit the flaw in everything that I was doing. I kept talking about how I was going to help blacks and African Americans. I was going to set blacks and African Americans free. And therein is where I was breaking the law, the real law. I was breaking because blacks and African Americans belong to the United States. I don't have no right to freedom. I don't have no right to give them a better life. If the United States ain't giving it to them, I don't have the right. And this is what I learned in 2015 until now. I didn't have the right to do the things that I was doing. So all the anger that I had for what I went through, I didn't even have that anymore. All I could do was sit back and laugh and say, wow. Even though I wasn't trying, I still committed a crime because nobody taught me the rights of law. So since we teach our children how to read, you don't think that law is where we should teach our children how to read?
Yes, sir.
Since our children learn math, you don't think they need to learn math along the lines of economics, financial responsibility, and monetary policy?
Yes, sir.
This is math. Anything less than that is a sham. You got our children studying less than that, it's a sham. You allowing the school I send you to school to learn. No. You send your children to school to confirm what you've already taught them about any subject. School is only there to confirm to your child, mommy and daddy is right. Mommy and daddy is right. This makes the child like lean on you more. When they realize, oh, everything my parents taught me, they was right about. So now I came to school to find out they were right. You can't teach them everything. And that's why they have this thing called liberal arts. You make them a well-rounded person and a little bit of everything. You use your experience to give them knowledge and ray. And then your child goes to school and applies what you were already doing with discipline at home. And they never have no problems. And they go to the top of their class. Now, how do I know this works? I had a grandmother, a mother, and a father. Aunts and uncles around me at all times who raised us with this type of mentality. And my mother would definitely tell you, school ain't teaching you nothing. All they doing is confirming what I showed you. Because it was my mother who showed me how to read. It was my mother who showed me how to go after math. It was my mother who put these disciplines inside. And then when I say my mother, don't excuse my father, because if I gave my mother a hard way about it, his belt was swinging behind her. Did you hear what your mother said? Do what your mother said. Get what your mother said done right now. What your mother said, what your mother said, what your mother said. Where's that value in our homes today?
We lost it, cuz.
Because you're an independent, strong black woman. You don't need no man. Well, Section 8 is your man. The welfare department is your man. Those are your men. And those men are out to destroy the one you had the child by, which is me. This is where I get nasty with everything and everybody. I don't want to hear it. I am not here, or I'm not about discussing this in a way where you get to say everything you have to say and we get to understand it. I'm not here for that. I am here for, this is the problem. This is how we fix the problem. So now if you do this part, I'll do that part. And now we fix the problem. See, you do this part, I'll do that part. And the problem is solved. But if you're not going to do this part and that part, then what are you leaning on me for? A brother called me 2 days ago, a few days ago, talking about, I'm getting ready to go to jail tomorrow. Can you help out? Or maybe you could write me a letter. Oh, I see. You want me to be dirty. You want me to charge you $25 to $50 to write you a letter that I know ain't gonna work in court tomorrow? Well, I could just print it out. You didn't hear what I just said to you? The letter isn't gonna work tomorrow because the year and a half that you should have been working with us, you never applied yourself. Now you get in a situation you want me to help you. You want me to be a dirty Moor. That's what you want. And this is what I mean by I convert the wealth down 1,000 times because it keeps coming incorrectly. And for me to take that man's money that he probably really don't even have, knowing that the letter I write, they're going to read it and dismiss it, and this man still might get locked up. Don't that make me dirty? Don't that make me wrong? So I didn't take his little bit of money. And I can use it, but I didn't take it. Because what he's going to get is not going to be beneficial to him or us. It'll be just another letter written with all the Moorish stuff on it, freedom stuff, and then my appellation signed to it, and they just stick it in a file. So the next one that comes in real, they, oh yeah, this guy, just put it to the side. The first one he gave us wasn't good. This one might not be either. Just throw it to the side. Don't consider that. We'll wait until the end to consider what's written there. But don't use it along the line. Yo, come on, y'all. You don't see the value in a person like me?
Right.
They're wrong.
Right. That's why I always ask when they be sitting at the House of the Senate and the representative, they make these bills. I wasn't there. Nigga, you got to talk to me. I'm the one going through it. We got to make the, what happened to that? You going to write up some paper and tell me we all agreed to this. No, I didn't. This is what y'all agreed to, what y'all not facing. How you going to help something and you ain't the one going through it? Back to you.
And so when you talk like that, we have to realize that through all the powers in the world, they all say the average person doesn't know what they want, how they want it, when or where they want it. We have to make that decision for them. They don't, the average person doesn't take the whole round ball into consideration. They only deal with their personal selves in a situation. So they can't make the right decision. And so they don't look to you and I to make any right decisions for ourselves or for the whole. And that's how we keep losing. And then when I hear it, no, we don't. We're only dealing with our personal, how this is what I think. This is what is what you think or feel correct. It doesn't matter if it's correct. This is what it does matter if what you think or feel is correct. That matters 1,000,000%. If it doesn't fit the scientific mixture, if it's not in the science of what we're talking about, then what are we talking about it for? Why is it on the table at this particular time? The things that you're saying and you feel about it doesn't matter what we think or feel. The only thing that matters is what is or isn't. And in these cases, especially when dealing with law, if you is a Black and African American, expect all your rights to be subverted. Period. And as long, they should give Blacks, and it's like the more I tell you not to use Blacks, the more you want to keep using it. The more I tell you, like at the beginning of a conversation, I'll say, whatever we talk about, do not put civil rights on this table. And then as we're talking, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, didn't I just tell you not to put civil rights on the table? But there is no buts. Civil rights is the reason why you're suffering. Martin Luther King said, I led my people into a burning house. You like that house burning? You like the way it smells or something? I'm getting a smoky chest from it. I have to go outside and get some fresh air. I don't like the burning house. It has fumes coming off the wires and stuff that are killing me and destroying my senses. I don't like the burning house. My child is laying on the floor, passed out in this burning house. We have to get out of the burning house and then build our own under our own perception, such as, anybody ever think about living underground? Our ancestors used to. Cavemen. They weren't cavemen. In fact, underneath that ground, they were warmer under the ground and they were cooler. under the ground. The summertime cooler and the wintertime warmer than they are living in these things that we built, these caves that we built, and then trying to heat them and cool them through these other systems. Moving underground, moving into a cave was the natural thing to do. Because other than that, in the summertime, have you ever slept under the stars? Oh my God, have you ever slept at night or under the stars? This is what our ancestors were doing. Sleeping under the stars, all that energy that we talk about that's coming down and around while you sleep, that energy is covering you. When you get up in the day, you get up with a new type of energy. Why? Because the sun and everything as it came up brought that energy into the antenna of you, into your body. And now you exert yourself from that new energy. The houses are blocking it. These type of caves are blocking it. The things we got going on, the street lights. The street lights. If the street lights were going and you looked up into the sky, that thing they call the aura or whatever, we'd probably see that everywhere if it wasn't for the street light. The city lights, they're blocking that beauty of the night. Bless you, Grant. A lot of the other stuff that they talk about in the stars and stuff, it's blocked by these artificial lights above our heads. Our ability to see up above us into the book from the creator of the universe. That book in the universe is the book that's inside of us, inside of our heart. So when you start talking about a spiritual book, I don't look at books man read, and I look into my heart. I look into my mind. I look up into the sky, what the creator put together. Not what some man sat down and got a copyright on. That's his. It ain't mine. And you and I, we refuse to see these things, and we keep trying to describe stuff from other people's thought of us. And that don't mean that they know you if they have a thought of you. It just means that they're operating from some other type of idea of who you are. And this has to stop for us. This doesn't make any sense. We have no idea of being strong on our own. We have no idea of working for ourselves. We have no idea of building something for our children. We're going to keep trying to ask somebody. So if you ever play sports, this is what it's like to me. If you ever play basketball, on your way to making a basket, do you ask the other player, can I jam the ball now? Can I hit this free throw? Can I hit this jump? Can I hit this three? When you're playing football, do you ask, when you're running for the first down, do you stop and say, hey, can I get that extra yard right there? And why we do it in existence? Why we do it every day in our existence?
Hey, cuz, I got one guy here, my brother, Rashawn Kelly. He just enlightened my muffin top back. I want you to capitalize off of this because I believe you've been speaking on it. He just told me the difference in eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth of the law that we call the Hebrew law, that I'm about to find out Hebrews don't know what the hell they talking about. Go ahead, Rashawn.
Okay. I just break this down to historical contents. Everybody's familiar with the Hammurabi Code, which is a Babylonian code book, but there's two different eye for eyes dealing when you know the history of the Hebrew law and the Babylonian law. When Yeshua, or who everybody called Jesus, was speaking against the eye for eye, he was speaking against the Babylonian form of an eye for eye and not the Hebrew form. And let me break down what's the difference between the two. And the Babylonian form of eye for eye is, for example, if someone burned your house down, you burn their house down. That's a Babylonian form. A Hebrew form is if someone burned your house down, you use justice. Justice meaning you hold them accountable for them doing harm to your place of stay or harm. So that's basically what that is. So when Yeshua was speaking against, as you know, for eye, he was speaking against the Babylonian form and the Talmud that they add to the Talmud. So the Talmud are added laws that the Most High has nothing to do with. You add in laws to the existing law, and they don't go together. So a lot of stuff that Yeshua was talking about speaking against him about was against the Talmud, the Takanos, and the Mishnah. So a lot of people get that wrong all the time with the eye for eye.
I know for one, because I was taught that way even from a child, that they mix the Babylonian, I get your dog because you shot my cat. No, that's Christian Babylonian. The real way is just like the Muslim way. Oh, I caught you in the act stealing or whatever, and we're going to go by the most high laws, what we going to do to you. And so that came about because I was like, we're living in a time today where the beginning is no different than the end. How did we, as Most High followers, carry out God's law in the world we living in, which is against it? That's what I believe we lost. See, they were carrying it out, even though Babylon, Rome, or whoever the hell didn't. And they even says, Rome let them practice their practices. What are we doing today? Back to you, cuz.
Because there's too much power in it. All right, so when they say people were allowed to keep their religions, what they're really saying is people were allowed to govern themselves along their own lifestyles. And so as long as you didn't do murder, rape, treason, or harm somebody else, no crime was ever committed. There could be no crime. If you didn't steal, there could be no crime. So that, when they tell you that, it's like when we hear it, we hear, oh, they had their own gods. We're only thinking religion. It's bigger than religion.
Right.
The religion is your government, your governance of self. So when they say they allowed them to have their own religion, they allowed them to govern themselves. That's how we have to translate it today. And if they were allowed to govern themselves, what does that mean about the government? The government is for the old, like all of us who are governing from our different perspectives come together to form a bigger government because we live in this particular circle, and then there's another circle over here, but we live in this circle. So this circle has to stay safe. So every imam, every priest, every whatever you want to call yourself, every rabbi who live in this circle, you're all responsible for coming together and securing the people in a government as a nation, despite religions. This went across the religion. So then each of you can go back to your community and explain to your community on a state level of how we all exist here together and then separately. This got confused to where the government wanted to be the government, and then you all live in your separate religions. And as long as the government is the government and you live in, now I can get this religion to lie on this religion and tell this religion a lie about this religion to make this religion come out and fight everybody.
Right.
And here we are today. See, these two religions were the ones who they were focused on, but it was this one who came and started the fight. And they didn't have nothing to do with the original, what was going on.
You hit that right on the car.
This one came and started the fight. And this is where we are today. People outside of us are starting our fights when we talk about get rights for gays. That's not a conversation for us. If they wish to be gay, let them be gay. But that's not a conversation for us. We are not for or against their gayness. We could care less. We're not going to participate with it. We're not going to help it. We're not going to be, well, I'm gay, so that. Nobody cares if you're gay. You came into this earth without my assistance. You were inhaling and exhaling before me. So you deserve all the benefits, all the glory that the Creator has given to all of us. That's what you deserve. Now, you're coming to tell me that because you're gay, there's a group of people over here who don't like you. What am I supposed to do about that? What can anybody really do about that? They don't like you. Well, we need special rights to say, no, I don't think you need special rights to save you or anything like that. I'm not asking for special rights about my nation. I'm asserting them, whether you go along with it or not. And if you don't go along with it, I'm not mad at you. I ain't going to out you to make you try. I care less whether you think I deserve these things or not. I know I do. And I'm going to put my foot down to get what I deserve. So you do the same thing. But a special reason because you're gay? No, that's not going to happen. So that's why these blacks and African Americans, what's the president going to do for us as blacks and African American? That's an out of balance question. The president don't need to do nothing for you as a black and African American at all. The president needs to do something for the entire people of the United States government. And then when he does it for the United States government, everybody benefits from it. Well, back in the day, they didn't allow us, and we don't have it because you're operating out of law. You're out of law. Every time one of us has something, your name is on your car. Your name should not be attached to your car. Your name should not be attached to your home. Your name should not be attached to your jewelry. The food you bought in your house, it don't belong to you. You're supposed to live a life of poverty, not owning nothing, but enjoying everything. But we don't get that concept. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what it is. And I hate me sometimes. Like right now, I'm having an inner jihad with myself. Do I keep giving these messages away free, or do I start charging you people for it? Because charging you, like I said, I don't go after wealth. But that which I'm giving, I could charge for. But since all I'm doing is telling you the correct way the Creator made for us to live, I feel like I'm acting like a preacher now, taking money from you, taking fiat from you, taking United States currency from you to give you what the Creator. See this? That didn't cost me a dime.
Do it again.
That don't cost me nothing. So for me to turn around and charge you for it, it's ridiculous. And that's all I'm trying to do is help all of us a little easier. Everybody else charges you for that, and that's the reason, because they all charge you. We ain't got nowhere, so I won't charge you. Let's see what we can get. And to me now I'm telling you, I think that my words within the last 3 or 4 years have freed people more than they were freed before, because they was operating with institutions. My words free, but then in that freedom, you want to carry on the ignorance of, well, I'm doing it and nobody can tell me. Oh, and sometimes we all must conform with each other within that freedom, because that conforming is our security. Without it, we lose. We just don't have to do it like and it's never been done. It hasn't been done through the church, the temples, the masjids, all of that. They haven't done it. None of them has saved us yet. I said, and this is my arrogance, I said I have taken all of their teachings, and if you would but listen and study for yourself, you'll see it for yourself. Therein, we are all saved. I'm going to tell the truth at every level. I'm not scared of, they're going to get you. This was going to, I've been threatened up and down the board. I ain't scared. 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to do what you said, or I'm going to catch you, and then you're going to be mad because I'm going to do what you was planning on doing to me. So let's go at it, right? But the job is that you see how to free yourself and your families from everything. And if you don't see that as a job, when you say, I just want to be free and I just want to sit back and relax, you ain't built to save us. There's nothing about you that will save us. What you are built for is to enjoy what we saved you, the way we saved you. That's all you're built for. Sit back and enjoy it. You're part of that group that they said the majority of the people don't know what they want. They don't know how to get what they don't know how to think in order to get what they want. They don't know how to make deals. They don't know how to haggle to get what's beneficial for everyone. They're not going to get up tomorrow on that same level that they was on today. So, like with my nephew, right? We go through, we handle my nephew, we hammer that out. My cousin get her money or whatever she gets out of reward, or they get whatever they get. Does that mean the fight is over? Does that mean sit down and relax now? Does that mean, oh yeah, look at me and what I did? No, because over in Iowa, my cousin's story will be repeated. And then when we fix it there, down in North Carolina, my nephew's story is going to get repeated. California is going to get repeated. The job is to not have that story repeated. That's the job. And if we're not looking at it that way, this is why we lost. NAACP, since inception, they have said, we're not here for prevention. We're here for intervention. That means before the NAACP can move, somebody has to get hurt. It's too late now.
Or die.
It's too late.
Yep.
It's too late to say anything. The person is hurt already. That was the thing when I was raising my children, especially my daughters. See, y'all shouldn't get hurt. Because if y'all get hurt, then I hurt. People don't want me out here hurt behind y'all. So I need to teach my daughters how to move so that they don't get hurt out here in this world. And that's what I went about doing. So now my oldest daughter, she met a dude when she was 13. She had a baby when she was 20. They still together. They got 2 children. They still rocking together. Whether he has another woman or not is nobody's business and no concern. You know why? Because my daughter smiles when she sees this dude, and he keeps a smile on her face every time he sees the same dude from 13 to 39. That's 26 years that they have spent together, both of them. Like my daughter says, she grew up in a dysfunctional household, and he says the same thing. So see, as they were growing up, they were looking saying, no matter who these people think they are, they crazy. And my house won't be ran that way. So now they're together, running. My house won't be ran that way with each other. And as far as a son-in-law, I couldn't be happier with him and the way he rocks. He taught his daughter how to play the guitar, the bass guitar, the drum, the lead guitar, electricity. She can fix cars. My granddaughter can fix cars. Poppy don't know nothing about fixing no car. My granddaughter can get out her back underneath that car and fix a car. Are they not doing the job that they're supposed to be doing?
Yes.
So then this is where, when you say, well, what can you benefit? How can you tell us anything? Because I'm a part of something very successful, but it's a personal success that you really don't need to be a part of. But if you're complaining to me in your own world, I can tell you how to cut some of that stuff out.
Wait. Both Quran and the Bible teaches us start at home first, right? Before you can go out anywhere else, think you're going to make a change? You in the right standard, brother.
I understand, because I didn't drive up in a pretty Cadillac.
Pimping niggas, huh?
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't get out whoop-de-doo a bubblegum pimp. And stuff the way you think I should dress. I didn't do nothing. I'm not successful. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's the way I'm saying it. But then again, just like I said, 2 days ago, I was on the phone. Yo, brother, help me. I'm about to go to jail. I could charge him right then and there. All money ain't good money, though, right?
Right.
If you're going to talk this way, you got to live with it. So I'm living with what I say. And that's the reason I'm not chasing. I make music. I make darn good music, too.
Yes, sir.
I'm not chasing that through the industry. I'm not trying to get that in a commercial so everybody can hear me. I made it. I'll perform it and do it whenever I want to and stuff. Ain't nobody controlling me ever. So they're not controlling my products, my music, or anything else that I make. And I was told I should. They said, well, brother, you need to get some kind of money. So, okay, I make greeting cards. Personalized greeting cards. I can put pictures on them. I can do this, calligraphy, writing. And if I'm going to do something like that to make money, then that's what I do. I make greeting cards. I put your words on them, or I can I can write. So I come up with my own words. We go back and forth. You like them, that's your new greeting card. I can make greeting cards for any type of situation beyond the greeting cards that are in the store. I can make greeting cards, customized greeting cards for any situation that you want them even diss greeting cards.
Oh, greeting card?
You want to diss somebody throwing greeting cards? I have a few ideas in my head for situation. Yo, so that's something that I would promote that I do. Greeting cards. I make money off that. How much it costs? How much work you want me to put into it? How much printing and stuff? Because if you want your picture of family, I can do all of that. That's simple work for me. So if I have to pitch something as something that I do, I'm in the greeting card business and I'm making greeting cards. Everything else that I do, my music and stuff, I'll never pitch it that way because it'll never be owned by the system. If you contact me and say, well, I would like to hear your music, I'll contribute, donate $1 to download that particular song from you, that's fine too. We can do that, but I'm not going to be out there, I make music, I make beats. That's not, I'm not trying to be a part of the industry. I'm saving this so I can get with people like my cousin BC and the people that we bring together. Yo, here goes music. Make that song. Make this song. We own the publishing rights. We're the distributors.
That's right.
I don't need the industry to do a doggone thing for me on this level because they'll never own it. So why open myself up to it? We're going to perform. Well, we got a backyard. You come perform in my backyard.
Yeah.
And we put it out here and people want to donate, then they donate. I come to your backyard. Somebody's having a wedding, something, this, that. See, there are reasons and ways for us to do this ourselves, but we're so greedy, man. They're going to give me $1 million. I'll sign. They're going to give me $1 million. I'll give up my butt one time for $1 million. I'll suck them off for $1 million. Hey, you stupid.
So crazy. You gonna demoralize yourself? No.
You won't find, and so I gotta walk away when I know that I'm trying to get in the industry. Oh, see you later, brother. But you're the hottest thing floating out here. But the fact that you're trying to get in the industry makes me say, bye-bye. My name won't be next to that. Like all this stuff going on with in the industry right now, and all these people talking, and I saw this one around, I saw that one around. You never said you saw me around nothing. And if let's say you did, I'm coming back around so we can clear up everything about what you saw and what you didn't see and who was around, just so the main people there say, nah, he wasn't part of it. He didn't have this fool. Leave this guy alone. He didn't have nothing to do with what was going on. Bingo. He's going to blow this up like as if everybody can see a rocket that took off in Florida. You think people in Canada can actually look up and see that? No, they really can't till it reaches. But the way he's going to handle it, it's going to be like everybody was standing right there at explosion time and we all got hit by the fuel. Yeah, I'm going to handle it. Because you're not going to put my name with the dirt. That's how I got into all these problems anyways.
Me too.
Me too. Handle like that in your individual spaces. Then there's people saying, we all need to move into one town and one area. That don't make any sense. That to move into one area, town, and buy up. Why am I buying anything when I was already instructed that if I go by the law, my allodial title will give me this land? Why am I ever sitting around talking about buying land? I'm going to piss myself. When I buy the land, I get hit with taxes because I bought the land.
Yep.
Now I can lose it. I'm not buying the land. I'm using my allodial title to claim. And so, and just to prove y'all I don't just talk about it, right? A couple of years ago, I'll say over 20 years ago, my family found out that we all are indigenous to this land. We are origines. This land here, we were born on it before 1492. My people got proof, right? So the people in Ebron, Connecticut, I scripted them a very nice letter letting them know this is ours. We're back. We're claiming it. I took up the whole town. Everybody's scared. It went to the city hall and everything. They all scared. And then they were so shook, they tried to say that somebody else in that town, called older Caucasian, he told y'all to do this, didn't he? No, that old man ain't telling me. When I sent it to him, he was shocked. He was, oh, wow, really? Oh, yeah. And now the people in City Hall are like, he made you do it. What? So what you're really saying is, You're looking at my skin color saying, I know you didn't come up with this on your own. I did. I got the word from Prophet Noble Drew Ali that this is what it should be. Then I went through the law and found out that, oh, this is what it is. So I put it all together and sent you a very nice letter letting you know that's our land. It's a load of you. We own it. We're coming back to claim it. And then people, to this day, right now, they're shook. Because there's really nothing, once I make that claim, there's nothing they can do about it.
Because it's an allodio. It's supposed to be, allodio means you pass it to your children's children. What you read in your Bibles and your Qurans. That's how they do it. They took it from us by piece of paper. So by black and white, it shows that you the original Dundada, not by the Americanized paper stuff they did, but the original Dundada. That's why they shaking in their boots.
Let's be careful. And that's another thing. People say, well, you just pick out words. You're just trying to be smarter than everybody else. Words are spells. So I'm not picking on words. Remember this part. When we speak what has gone against us, we never want to say America, because America is the land, the people, the air, the water. The United States.
Bingo.
We want to keep saying definitely.
Thank you for the correction. Yes. I am the spirit water of life. Amaruakai. That's how we say it. But the United States, yeah, he hit it right on the top. There you go. That's the corporation. The dead trying to bury the dead. Thank you for that.
And so the words, the way we utilize our words is the reason why we're also confused. And the message sounds good, but then I heard somebody else talking just like you and they said. And then they said, and then they keep saying America, how come you? Because that hasn't there's a word I want to say, but they haven't studied the fullness of the words in order to make that particular thing within themselves. But I guarantee you, to show me who the person is, because once I say it, show it to them, I guarantee you they'll switch it up. If they're really being honest and true about moving us forward, then they'll switch it up. They'll make a conscious effort within themselves to make sure that they never say the words that way again. Why? Because when we say America, that's my alloyalship and my ownership. Why would I ever give that to the United States or anything the United States did? I don't want that mixed up, ever.
Now, we're going to pick up right here at Tamara, Taimu, America, right here. And also, you got to spill to me. Remember, you're supposed to tell me a secret about Moasha. We're going to reveal that too on here. I got to get ready and go an hour away. And when I come back in 2 hours, I'm going to call you again. And we're going to fire back up with this America, where we at right now, the justice system, and the secret about Moasha.
Yes, sir.
So third world order, y'all gonna have another live.
Got away from me, but thank you, yes, sir.
Third world order, y'all got another live coming from Cuz. So just give me 2 hours and we'll be back ready to hit it. Thank you, Cuz. Braka.
Clean up with my daughter. I told my daughter not to clean up within that time.
Got you. Love y'all. Braka and Islamism. Yep, I'm about to send it to him now.